Grand final time. Let's go, everybody. We have the rematch coming up against Simplicity. And as you heard in the interviews, they are ready and good to go. And Simplicity, they have plans.
Yeah, they definitely have plans, and they're going to need some good ones if they're going to take the juggernauts of the tournament down, which is WA. They flew over the ocean from Europe, and they have definitely been making a statement that they want to win this tournament. Definitely the favorites heading into this grand final. But I do think Simplicity, I mean, they got some really talented players on this team. If they get, I think, their drafts a little bit under order, play a little bit cleanly, this could be a series that, definitely goes the distance. Personally, it would be pretty sad if we saw WA just coming in 4-0, but I do think Simplicity is the underdogs heading into this one.
Yeah, we already heard them talk a little bit about how this morning they arrived late, and Legacy was talking, okay, we didn't really have the prep time that we really wanted. So that's something that they definitely now had. They had a lot of warm-up. They come from a big victory against Diamond Hands, so that's already important. And heading into the grand final, that might give them a little bit of a boost here. I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I told them, give him hell. If you see an opportunity, take him down, make them work for it.
Yeah.
WA obviously is pretty confident here. Everything has been going well for them today so far. Starting map is Tomb of the Spider Queen, which is also pretty nice. I like it. It's always a map where you get a lot of action right from the beginning. It's a little bit snowbally at times if you can control the early game well. But yeah, we could definitely see a lot of action around the boss here. So
also very rotation heavy. I mean, a map where Ultralisk, Kerrigan, Maiev are very powerful. We've seen Masquerade pitch Stitches on this map multiple times to high success. I really am very curious to see what does Simplicity do in the draft phase, right? We saw in that first series versus WA, they were afraid of Ultralisk, Maiev, and Kerrigan, right? Two very power heroes, but it opened up a lot of opportunities for other power picks for WA. So I'll be curious to see if they continue to take away those melee assassins. I personally would like to see them get Dequaza off of that blaze. Like, not that he's bad at other offlaners. His Yrel is terrifying. His Leo is very strong. But I feel like that hero just provides so much for Team WA and the way that they like to play of having that save when they do go aggressive. So would like to see Simplicity definitely swap up the drafts because I feel like what they were doing was not working in that previous series.
And you could also hear talking about potential bans that Masquerade, for example, mentioned, hey, give me Stitches. I want my Stitches. So that might be another hero that could potentially be targeted. But as we explained, then you open up something for Ultralisk. And Ultralisk, he loves to play as Kerrigan here. We saw him once on the Maiev, and he had a huge impact. It's really... You have to pick a poison at some point. You got to say, okay, what can we deal with? What can we not deal with? Even Marco was talking about the bans and saying, okay, we want to get rid of Zeratul on most maps unless we think, okay, here we can deal with him. But, yep, we're ready. Game 1, Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Woo, first of hopefully 7 matches of this grand finals. Would love to see it go the distance, but we are getting into it. Tomb of the Spider Queen, map choice for Simplicity, which actually, wait, no, since they are, I believe WA got first pick and map pick, since they were in the winner's final. So even though they have first pick, they also have that map pick. So this is WA with double advantage heading into this, and they've consistently been taking away the Junkrat. I mean, a hero that's very annoying, has really good wave clear, as well as, zone control around those turn-ins, and we already see it. They said, Masca, no more. We don't want it up in here.
Masca, Stitch just gets banned. Immediately the Jojo ban on the other side. Now, of course, with that, immediately you got to ask yourself, what is Masquerade going to play? Are we going to see some Noobrag action? Is it going to be the Diablo for him this time? But I like it that we have them switching it up. Now, the only question is, Kerrigan or Maiev?
Yeah, it's interesting because we've seen them consistently ban the Kerrigan, but we haven't seen Ultralisk play the Kerrigan in other series where it's been up. But, maybe that's something where they never really felt tested, felt like they wanted to keep strategies under hidden. These two teams, these players definitely have a pretty intimate understanding of each other, and they actually leave both of them up. I do like this because it's like, Kerrigan and Maiev, both good in different situations. Why ban one if you can't take both of them away?
Though,
I don't. Dequaza, again, Deja Vu, getting the Blaze, a very powerful pick. I would probably say one of the heroes of the tournament so far as meta developing. I thought Johanna was going to consistently be that first pick, but sometimes even when Johanna was up, people would pick that Blaze over her. So, woo!
They really still like their Malfurion, and just in general, the NA teams right now. But we get Cure on Maiev. So, Cure is already adopting this a little bit and is making sure they are shutting something down. I want to come back to that Sylvanas ban for just a second. I like it as well because one of the key things for Team was that they always exploited advantages ruthlessly. They get a kill, all of a sudden you have 4 of them on one lane. Sylvanas is able to structures, they go in and they take so much down. And there she is, Kerrigan. There you go, finally get your game. And with Uther too.
Yes, so it's probably going to be a double support main tank Uther. right? And we'll probably see another support come in, as well as a DPS. This could potentially, okay, when I was interviewing Make, I was asking him a bit about Mephisto, why we haven't seen him pick it, and he said it's because they normally want to hold that last pick for someone like Ultralisk, right? To be able to pick out a Maiev, pick out a Kerrigan. With Kerrigan being pick up here, potentially we could see if it's a good Mephisto game, being that range damage here in the 4-5. Not a terrible map for it. But yeah, it's going to be a double support Kerrigan comp. Very scary for the side of Team Wa. Not sure what Simplicity is going to do in response.
Not necessarily double support, by the way. We had them with Uther solo support a lot, but they could do a lot here. I mean, even a Vala would fit with this.
Yeah.
You get the second support in, you get a Vala in, and all of a sudden you have Kerrigan drawing a lot of the attention, and that leaves more wiggle room for Vala. So that is definitely something that could happen as well.
A very powerful
Make
hero too.
Yeah, they can really flex from this one. Uther solo support, they can go into the double support here. And yeah, this could be pretty brutal. Then again, Mephisto gets banned, so they don't want to go off again. Don't want to go up against him again.
Yeah. The AoE damage, especially if they do the solo Uther with so many melees, is kind of scary. Even if you do get that first kill, you know, there's a potential of, you know, the turnaround of losing 2 or 3. And here it comes down for Simplicity.
Also, the amount of stuns that we already have on their side, it's a bit crazy.
Ooh.
Garrosh and Dehaka.
Is this the first Garrosh of the tournament?
No, we had earlier already.
Oh, we had it earlier? Okay. It's just been a while, you know. I feel like it's been a minute since we've seen him. Do have the Malfurion for the root follow-up.
Yep.
Double threat here at this point. Have the Maiev and the Garrosh, which both, you know, are heroes you have to kind of be cognizant of. Potentially the Dehaka flank. The only thing I don't love about Simplicity's comp is it's like Wa wants to go in, and so I feel like if they throw someone in, everyone from Wa is just going to instantly engage and follow up, and that's going to be the double support with the Vala that you were mentioning.
Nice. I like it. I really like it. That is a very, very aggressive lineup now. It gives Maka what he wants. He really loved that. We get the Chromie for Madara on the other side. So now, obviously, Masquerade on Uther doubling as a main tank here. No matter who wins here, this is going to be a good game. This is going to be a real fun one. We get this Vala into action with the double support. We have a Kerrigan to pay attention to. Then again, Chromie on the other side. Maiev played by Cure. There's so many moving things here. I love it.
Yeah, and in that first series, we saw Simplicity versus Wa. In the first game, Wa let that Zeratul through, and they played versus it. They had a plan for it. And this series, Simplicity doing a bit of the same with the Kerrigan, right? Taking away the Maiev, letting the Kerrigan through, and testing it, right? Saying it's a best of 7. Even if we lose this game, it's nice, because if they do win, that's no longer a hero that they have to consistently ban going into it. So, like both these drafts, excited to see what happens with it.
We're going to have to
we control the bushes.
Like
okay,
so
Kerrigan
is
free
low.
we don't want to get
if she ever dives anyone else but me, I can just drop sands and one-shot her. Like, it's so easy.
I think she's gonna go for.
She's gonna kill me.
Auto legacy, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe you.
I don't think so. I think they have to throw back.
Yeah, should be good.
We need to be careful of D-Shield.
D-Shield Kerrigan will run us down, though, yeah. So, like, something you can do, I can place a clock on her, when she goes top, I can just turn you off.
I think it's important also that...
Hopefully he's out of range. If he's in range of Ultralisk, we lost.
Well, the thing is, he's gonna be...
I mean, he's gonna...
Yeah, triple jump.
He's gonna queue on a bunch of people.
I'm gonna keep a clock in our back line.
You're gonna have to sidestep him. Just sidestep him, bro.
Don't stack with the support. Pourquoi j'ai été gratuit de PD en fait?
My hypercarrier or do I need vision?
PD. Tu sais. Mascot, tu connais qui
Going in, everybody. So right now on the right side, we got North America.
Yeah, these are my boys. We got Pants playing the Dehaka, Cure on the Maiev, Madara riding around on a heart. Hopefully he's not showing off too much love with the Chromie, unaverted, playing the Garrosh, and then Malfurion being played by Legacy.
On the left side, the blue team, the Europeans, Maka on Vala, Masquerade on Uther, the double support combo with Nagrom on Stukov. Uther obviously doubling as the main tank here. Rayquaza for the 4th time in a row against Simplicity. Always counting the winner bracket final. He's playing Blaze and Kerrigan. The first time in the tournament that Ultralisk finally gets the hero.
Yeah, and it looks like Simplicity able to get that early wave prio. Kerrigan as well as Blaze just split off to the side lanes. Looked like they didn't want to face off against the Garrosh at the start, which I think is pretty fair. Actually, Masquerade going to be tossed into here. Garrosh as well getting chunked out. Silence coming out. Kerrigan combo going to connect onto the Maiev. But it looks like Garrosh is chunked out, but so is the Uther.
And Maka is also starting to farm a couple of stacks here. I mean, he's been talking quite a lot about how he thinks that farming stacks is not necessarily the most important thing. Masquerade apparently still has a problem with his mouse, as it seems.
He's got to give it a good blow. Good Nintendo 64 cartridge blow, you know.
The second you say that, he's literally blowing into
He is blowing into it. We can see right now.
I could literally hear him. It was like... oh, brilliant. So yeah, in case you didn't know, Masquerade is having some trouble with his equipment, so his mouse is struggling, and all CPR hasn't really worked here, so they were trying to revive it, and most of the time when it happens like every 20 minutes or something previously. He has to blow into the mouse, and apparently that solves the issue temporarily. I thought they would have solved it
Very high-tech solution, by the way.
Very high-tech solution.
Very high-tech, you know, very...
I'm not quite sure what kind of French contraption he's using here that they couldn't find a replacement, but yeah, so that's the issue that we occasionally have here, just to give you guys a little bit of context. But as I was about to say, Marco talked a bit about how stacking on Vala is obviously important to really increase the damage, but that it's more important to keep her alive. That once that you have level 16, level 20, that extra attack speed is just so impactful, especially for Manticore. So with the double support, you should be able to get good stacks out, but it's going to be an absolute priority for them to keep Vala alive throughout all of this.
Yeah, definitely, as it looks like both teams opting to take out their night camp. Malfurion as well as Cure walking towards the bot siege. I would expect to see them maybe just rotate towards mid. Okay, they're just going to opt for the siege camp, but this may open up an opportunity for Team Wa to actually push in pretty aggressively on this mid lane, since their bruiser camp will still be alive, and we could see, you know, some solid tower damage going in here. But they do have the Chromie defense, so maybe it'll be okay.
Yeah, also Chromie, I mean, you have quite a bit of lockdown for Chromie to get her combos off and then get kills against maybe even the backline. If Vala, for example, can be isolated a bit, you might be able to get the kill there. Death Dealer now on level 4 as usual with the auto attack build. They're pushing through the middle in an attempt to apply pressure already. Haven't seen a kill yet, but you got to be careful when you're up against that garage so you don't end up on the wrong side of that gate.
Definitely. As Unaverted posturing aggressively here, Cure flanking from the top, and Ultralisk doing a good job. The reactions from Cure, though, able to get that trade out and juke the Kerrigan combo coming out from Ultralisk, ready to get that off, as it looks like gems are completely even 30-30 though. It looks like Masquerade's going to be the first one falling on this Uther, and that is a good start for the North American team. He said, I need to blow in my mouse a little bit more. That's why I died for sure.
Yeah, I'm actually starting to be a little bit concerned, because I honestly thought that they would use the time earlier when they had a match off to either fix the issue or getting a new mouse, but if that is now in 2 minutes and 40 seconds, the second time that he has problems with the mouse, dying for it is not going to change the flow of the game too much since we're still early on, but that needs to be fixed.
Yeah, definitely a worrisome sign. Don't want that mouse issue going, plaguing you into the grand finals, right? This is the matches that matter the most, and it would be a bit of a tragedy for Masca to not be able to play at full strength because of a mouse. I actually see Cure in the chat saying, I have an extra Death Adder, if you want one, which is, Cure always prepared, bringing multiple mouses to the LAN, cracking me up. But yeah, I mean, as this game's been going, something I'm really looking forward to is going to be Madara getting this slowing sands. I mean, that's something that I think could be very difficult for this heavy frontline composition with the Blazer, the Kerrigan, the Uther, them potentially going in aggressive. Maybe, let's say, they don't execute perfectly on their combo, and then getting slowing sands and just taking so much damage as they're trying to escape. Yeah.
No, I mean, yes, if they can use the CC here, also with the cage, with Maiev and everything, it's going to be dangerous. You have to kind of get out of this one. Obviously, when you look at the blue team, they're going to try and drive the engagements with Kerrigan going in deep, having also the Divine Shield after level 10 for Uther. That's going to help. But I'm not going to lie. The technical stuff concerns me a bit. Yeah. I can only assume that during the break, when they were playing a couple of just like warm-ups and whatever, everything was fine. Yeah. And it's just an unfortunate coincidence that right now things are starting to kick in again. But if that persists throughout the grand final, that would be a problem.
Yeah, definitely. But it looks like he mentioned maybe it was the NVIDIA overlay, but it looks like both teams are going to be ready. Hopefully this is the last pause. I hope Mascara doesn't have any more issues, as it looks like we are getting back into the game here. Level 5 to level 5. Gems slightly in favor of Simplicity. 1 kill to 0 in favor of Simplicity, but very much an even game at this moment.
Yeah, so second time again, the second pause here was apparently not because of the mouse. It was a different issue with some software. But the first time, him trying to breathe life into it again.
So funny.
You can literally hear him throughout the entire arena. But yeah, so we got the first kill. Masquerade fell. Ooh. And, well, that was the first death of the game. And they're targeting him again. And this time, he can't blame anything on it. That's Masquerade down once more. Second kill against Uther once more. It is Malfurion with a final hit here. At least Maka is currently able to stack. But that's definitely not a good start for the main tank in Europe.
Definitely. I mean, but really, Masquerade is going to be the one probably in a lot of these team fights falling for the side of Team Wa. Just the nature of Uther, if you get dismounted, Garrosh being able to throw you in is a bit hard. And you'd rather have your Uther die than your Kerrigan, right? Kerrigan is going to be a higher priority, but yeah, Masquerade maybe needs to be a bit safer in those rotations around. But in these late game team fights, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see Uther maybe die and then they look to trade favorably with the rest of their team.
And something that Simplicity has already done really well in the previous series against Team where they lost, where they couldn't win a map, but what they've still done very well is diligently turn in their gems. And they're doing the same thing again, which gets them very, very close to another turn-in and to the first Web Weaver wave. And now we got level 7 on both sides, and Cure's already coming in with another tether as they're trying to tee this up for Madara and his Chromie. But that turn is very likely going to go to the red team. So Simplicity, I love this. A team that diligently turns in gems, that is like really big for me onto the Spider Queen. I've seen too many that hold gems and gems and then all of a sudden 2-3 die and you lose like 50. So that can't happen. So that's something that Simplicity is avoiding.
And that's going to be the first turn-in going over the way of Simplicity. Dequaza chunked out a decent amount here. You see Dahaka, Fancy Pants, looking for the aggro rotate and potentially chunking out the Blaze. Actually, Dequaza going to walk right into him. Is Garrosh going to be there in position to follow up? I don't think so, but potentially could have been a really big kill opportunity as that was 20 gems on the Blaze. And this is the first turn-in for Simplicity. What can they get off of it?
And they obviously now have the slowing stance that you've been talking about earlier, so that really, really helps with the push in the mid lane. And level 10 is not that far away either. Simplicity is looking good so far. The aggressive composition that the blue team is trying to execute here is not really coming online yet. Maka is, of course, also scaling into the late game quite well, as long as they can keep him alive, which so far has worked. But he is sitting at 68 stacks. Was obviously looking for a few more, but the pressure is on, and they're going for Nagrom, and Stukov has no chance of escaping here. Nicely done, easy kill. Masquerade trying for a second to help him survive, but they can't stick around there either. Gems are being lost, Masquerade is in trouble, Kerrigan has to back off, and that's fort number 1.
Yeah, and level 10 as well achieved for the side of Simplicity. A very different game coming out from them compared to the last series we saw these two teams face up again, as it looks like Simplicity in that break after this series really came to play. And I feel like the amount of pressure Madara is putting down on this Chromie has been very nice. I mean, a lot of players playing well here, but I feel like they just don't have any threat for this Chromie, as it looks like Cocoon, the disc comes out from Cure on Damake. I don't think they're going to be able to get much off of it, but you're happy getting 2 forts.
Yeah, that's fort number 2. That's huge. That's absolutely fantastic. The level 10 kicking in, that was just big. They should just let him die, honestly, at this point. He has no gems, he has nothing to lose. Them getting baited into another fight and now potentially losing Blaze, that's a bigger problem. And yes, they need to just get out of there. Maybe get the kill against Cure. That would be great, but he's jumping out as well. The fact remains that the Quasar is still in trouble. And 23 gems are lost momentarily. But Nagrom was getting most of them. No kill against the red team, though, but it's still is struggling without level 10. They need that heroic, and there it is finally. But I don't think Blaze needed to die. Once that Masquerade is caught, let him die.
Just leave him.
He has no gems. He had nothing. Just let him die. Back off. There was no need to risk Blaze here and lose potentially more gems in this encounter.
And they were so close to level 10. They were like 90% there, just needed a little bit more XP. Yeah. But the big saving grace, I will say, I mean, Blaze had like 20, 25 gems, and the fact that they were able to get those onto the Stukov is a big deal for the side of Team Wa, because that way, you know, if they are able to properly defend this turn-in, they may be able to, you know, channel a double turn-in or chain a double turn-in after this, which should allow them to swing the momentum into the mid-game.
Yes, there's a lot of momentum now for Simplicity. I mean, they are snowballing this one hard. The second turn-in is now coming online. 2 of the forts have already been destroyed. There's no doubt in my mind that the third one in the bot lane is now going to go down in flames as well. So, yeah, fighting without level 10. Just the early deaths against the blue team haven't really helped them, and then they couldn't get the turn in either. So now they are living with the consequences. And with that big of a gap in experience, it's also likely going to mean that the red team is hitting level 10 first. Again, the Quasar getting attacked. Disc is getting dodged. Nicely done. The tether is still there. And he's still able to walk out. Nice dodge by the Quasar. Blaze still alive. Simplicity looking for the kill, but can't find it at the bot lane.
That is a massive play coming out from Quasar. You're like, Michael, it's only one kill. But during all of that, guess what happened? Ultralis on the top side clearing the spider. Nagram actually going a bit aggressive here for the Stukov. Going to be forced out to get the D-shield. Rain coming out as well. 13 has been achieved for the side. ISO going out. A massive bunker, though, from Quasar. Nagram, the three-person taunt, unaverted on the Garrosh, though, falling very low. Down to 1 HP, is going to die, and it is only a 1-for-1 trade at this moment. But a big thing is that Maiev is able to complete that level 4 quest. But yeah, during all of that, they were able to clear mid and top spider while Quasar baited them to the bottom.
Yeah, right now, team at least getting the first kill, but again, the pressure is on them. They are behind. They need to catch up in experience. They need to get that level 13. We got 112 stacks by now for Vala, and therefore good damage coming out too. But things are not looking all that great for the European team. They need some momentum. They need a good fight. They've been on the receiving end. They've been pretty much on the back foot the entire time.
Yes.
They had to face off against the first Web Weaver wave. After that, the opponent had level 10. After that, the next Web Weaver wave. Now it's level 13. So I think once they claim the talent, it's the first time that they can go into a real battle situation.
Definitely, and it's going to be very important that they're able to channel 1, maybe 2 turn-ins as Make doing a decent amount of follow-up damage. Containment Tist does go out, not able to connect. Quasar bobbing and weaving. But I just want to note, Cure, his level 4 talent pin down was able to be completed, which means he's going to do a lot more damage every time he is able to throw out those Qs and get those resets.
Not a single gem turned in yet, but Ultralis is finally delivering at 51 and completes the turn in by himself. So now they can get some space on the map and a little bit more control. But the fact remains that the entire outer ring of defense is destroyed. And with all the force gone on the blue team side, they need to take some structure. Look how aggressive Simplicity is. Literally on the keep, looking for a kill.
So close for Nagram there. Looking for the root with the silence would have been pretty big to actually chunk out the Garrosh. But really, with this first turn-in, you're just looking to pressure your lanes out, looking to set up for your second turn-in as Cure falling relatively low. Quasar in a good position to chunk them out. And actually, Team Wa, it looks like, should be able to secure this bottom fort. But level 16 is most likely going to be there first for the side of Simplicity, which they may be able to use. Oh, the Kerrigan combo over the wall is going to force out the mouth cleanse, but unaverted is not going to take too much damage there.
Yeah, bottom fort is definitely in trouble and should fall, but outside of that, the red team has defended quite nicely. Now, they lost the mid wall, they lose the bottom fort, so that's at least Wa catching up a bit. But as you already pointed out, level 16 is going to be the next big problem. And there's still plenty of gems in the hands of Simplicity. But Wa is at least able to get a bit of aggression onto the map now. So that definitely helps them. And of course, 16 for them is going to be pretty big with Make not dying yet. So he is going to have a lot of value on the Manticore thanks to the attack speed that the level 1 talent gives him.
Yeah, a lot of late game damage will be coming out from Make, but I like Simplicity. They kind of stalled out clearing that bot turn and wanted to ensure that they were able to hit level 16. And they have only 42 gems, as it looks like they may just start up the boss here as we see all of their players just walking over there. I don't know if they're going to actually commit to this or if this is just an opportunity to bait the side of Wa into them. Legacy, though, actually getting tornadoed in could be a scary situation as Cure doing a good juke. Masquerade actually getting containment disc. They don't have D-Shield. Nagram! Oh, and this is like worst situation. Pauses. I mean, this is the middle of a team fight. You kind of hate to see it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, no matter what happens there on Masquerade PC, being it the software, being it the mouse again, that's also the worst scenario where it can happen in the middle of the battle. But this is still a horrible situation right now. The bunker is on the ground, so we have that.
He is shoving, though. That's the thing, is like the Stukov is stuck in the shove for a couple more seconds. A W is going to connect from Madara, but really the moment in this fight is all going to come down to, does Nagram die or is he able to get into the bunker before? Because if he is, then he can hop out, get de-shielded, and maybe potentially walk away. But Ultralis as well has a combo set up on the Dahaka.
Yeah, and Pans is also starting to move in, exactly as you said. So, yeah. I mean, I'm going to be blunt. That's unacceptable. Sorry, but they need to fix this. I don't know what exactly is going on here, but after problems popping up in the last time, apparently it's also a game freeze this time. So it's not Masquerade's equipment. I'm blaming it on the mouse the entire time because the first pause was because of it.
Yes.
But apparently Masquerade is now saying his game literally just froze. So it seems like they fixed it. Yes, they're ready, so we can go again. But something is not quite right. I'm not quite sure what's going on there, if it's really just a software issue in the background.
We're getting into it, though.
There's the kill. Stukov is dead as we're back in the game. Hey, the game is going.
As it looks like Pants is going to be going in here. The Uther D-Shield is going to connect, and this is going to be one hero falling for the side of, in favor of Team Simplicity, and it's going to allow them to go for the boss here. All they need is 10 more gems for a boss turn-in, as they currently have 50 gems, while opting to go for their Bruiser camp here, looking to mitigate some of that pressure, but this could be a massive opportunity for the side of Simplicity. They could get a lot of value out of this with a boss and potentially a turn-in to follow up.
Yeah, 17 to 15 right now, and again, this came at the worst moment in time. They need kills right now. They need 16, and then they need kills. At this point, they're just getting a beating, and they need to somehow recover from this, and the only way at the end of the day is get level 16, fight an even talent fight, and then really force the issue. They still have they still have the gems, so that's a good that's a good thing. They lost a lot of gems over the course of the game, but they have enough for a turn-in that could give them some momentum. But make sure that you get the 16 and then capitalize on Vala and Manticore.
I think they have a pretty strong late game, too. That level 16 talent you've been continually mentioning, the Mana Core, is very big, as well as level 20. They get a lot of powerful tools. Blink Kerrigan, as the double stun coming out from Dequaza. Cure throwing out a decent amount of damage, though, with these Qs, and I think that's going to be enough zoning for the side of Simplicity to get the keep. They throw out the containment disc, hits onto Dequaza, but they're not going to follow up. It's just a bit too deep, opting for the turn-in instead, but Wa does not want to let this happen. They do have a lot of mid and bot pressure, though, as they have the Siege and Bruiser camp coming out in favor of them.
Yes, at this point, you got to make the plays. You can't sit tight anymore. You can't sit back. You're 2 levels behind. You need to apply pressure, get that turn and get the web weavers, and then play around it. That's the only way you can do this. Too many things going wrong in this game. Technical issues on the side of Masquerade. First it was the periphery, then it was apparently some software issues. And of course the last pause came in the absolute worst moment in time. Apparently the screen freezes and he can't do anything. They lose Stukov and that ends the fight instantly. And Simplicity is doing exactly what they need to do. They capitalize on every single kill that they get here. They push it forward. They get their turn-ins. They're diligent about turning in every gem that they get. Here come the web weavers for the blue team. And it's a bit of a do-or-die situation.
Definitely. You need to get a lot from this turn-in. At the very least, you need to get some kills. You need to lower the gem count for the side of Simplicity. Look at Curie. He's got 32 gems. If you're able to bait him in, kill him, zone those gems off, that is a very big moment for you. But level 20 is closely approaching. That is a terrifying thing if you're for the side of Team Wa. And Ultralist actually activating his namesake, throwing out the Ultralist, trying to get that kill onto Cure, and not able to connect with it and get it.
Vala at 141 stacks now. So he's stacking well. He's doing okay. He has the damage also. But now with level 16 with the Manticore, they need to use that to get kills. All the damage in the world doesn't help you if you cannot get the kill afterwards.
Cure.
There they go for Q, and there it is. The kill. Maka able to dance away as Chrome is looking for the counter. They got at least one kill, but the fight isn't over. The drag connects. There's the Divine Shield. Some of the gems at least lost, but can they get more than their kill? Because look at experience. Simplicity is on 20 now.
Madara, though, it is a brief 4v5. A good ice block, though. Able to juke out as Make, barely able to juke away from that taunt. And it looks like Simplicity, even though 4v5, closely approaching 20, are going to have to back up. But I mean, if you're the side of Wa, you don't really have any gems. That's 23 gems for you, almost 25, and you don't really have a win condition at this moment. If you're Simplicity, you just play kind of a... Make getting tossed in. The root. This is potentially a scary situation. Unaverted. Make, is he going to fall? The last forward shot. He's out with 130 HP. The Stukov field's going to be enough. But Pants, he wants the tongue, and he gets it. Stukov is going to fall. Ultralist going in, trying to save it for his team. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it.
Vala. Vala. There's the kill. Dehaga comes in, takes Vala down, and that's 9 kills to 2. Level 20. Simplicity. They're wrecking them. Ultralisk is dying as well. 3 kills for the North American team, and they have the turn-in as well. They are looking at a fantastic situation to claim victory in game number 1 as Team Wa is falling apart here. The snowball is too strong, and time again, again, Simplicity pulls ahead with the turn and with the talent, and is at this point also with a numbers advantage on the way through the top lane, straight for the core. They smell blood in the water. They know they can end here.
Ooh, Cure going aggressive for the containment disc there. Barely not able to connect, but they don't have much damage for these heroes. Oh, Masquerade getting gone on here. Does have the D-Shield buying to buy time, but he's not even going to be able to get it off. Stukov is almost up here. Dayquaza coming in. Vala is the big hero, is going to be here in 2 seconds, but this is looking like a potential GG situation. Simplicity hitting the core here. You see Cure going aggressive. Legacy, though, falling on the Malfurion, potentially Make going deep, able to get it, but this is going to be 3 heroes falling. It's Ultralisk, it's Nagram, Cure going to get silenced. Ultralisk able to get the connect, but this is going to be game number 1, going the way of the North Americans as Simplicity bounces back. This was map pick. This was first pick for the side of Team WA, and this looks like we got a series on our hand, Khaldor, the first drop map for WA.
Yeah, finally a map win here for Simplicity, and for Team WA, I don't know. I mean, the composition that they play, it relies on being aggressive. It relies on, at some point, starting to drive the train. That never happened. They had multiple pauses where Masquerade was struggling and Simplicity exploited every advantage that they had perfectly. I mean, honestly, no excuses. Even if at the end of the day lose because they have the pauses, that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
You can't have your equipment just malfunctioning time and time again. That just can't be a thing. If it happens in one series and pops up the first time, that's fine.
Yeah.
But after that series, you need to fix that. Yeah. So whatever was the cause here for these continuous pauses, we had 3 in total, it needs to be fixed and they need to reset. Because you could clearly tell it threw multiple people off.
Yeah.
And once that you execute a composition with Kerrigan, with Uther, with... Everything has to be aligned.
You need to be dialed in,
yes,
right?
everything has to be aligned. If it's not aligned, then you're going to fall apart. And they also had always to fight up against an advantage on the side of Simplicity, who, as I said, exploit every possible situation the way that they should.
Yeah.
They did everything right, and they take lead now deservedly so. And WA has now to show that they can play from behind and take the next one.
Definitely an unfortunate situation with the pauses, though. But one thing I want to know is I also feel like the draft for Simplicity in that first game was very strong. Felt like the Garrosh was getting a lot of value. You know, anytime Uther kind of got out of position a little bit, was getting thrown in. Also, the Maiev felt, you know, Cure playing very well on it, but felt like, you know, there's so many like point-click CCs or skill shot CCs that we continually saw Cure being able to use his trait, you know, Blaze trying to charge in, Kerrigan combos, and just like wasting a lot of their cooldowns with that Maiev. And, you know, we were talking about in the first series when they let the Zeratul through and had a strat for it. You know, it seems like Simplicity in that off time did create a strategy for that Kerrigan, for that Maiev, and it definitely works. So I'll see if that swaps up the draft for Team WA heading into this next game.
I'm not sure that it does, because honestly, I hate this first game.
Yeah, no, me too.
Because it throws things off, and I've seen execute compositions like this well, but you can't do it when you're 2 levels behind.
Yeah.
Once that you're that far behind, how many fights did they get on even talents? 2?
Yeah, maybe.
Roughly 2. So at 16, they had their best chance. They get the turn in, they come in, they kill Cure, but then there's no boss on the map that they can take, there's no camp that they can claim. They have 20 gems, there's not a second turn-in that they can get, because again, Simplicity did way better with the turn-ins. Even when they didn't have an opportunity to get the objective, they turned in what they had. Watt didn't do that, so once they die in the team fight, they lose everything. But because they were so far behind, they couldn't really bring this in. But I've seen them execute a composition like this very well, with good coordination, and then it works. But if you fall this far behind and you get only 1 or 2 fights, then it doesn't work. And Simplicity knew that too. Simplicity, when they realize, hey, there's 1-16 fight that they have, we fall back. We just play defensive. And WA also made mistakes outside of that. We talked a bit about Masquerade getting isolated the second time and then dying on Uther with a single gem, and they come in trying to save him without level 10 against Heroics. And I'm sitting here like, what are you doing? Your Blaze has 20 gems, and you're nearly sacrificing him. He dies, and you can barely get those gems in. But why are you fighting this? Uther dying means nothing to you in that situation. He has no gems. There's a gate right there. They can't push through it. So, yeah, they need to get their shit together.
Definitely. And I hope the players are able to kind of reset. I mean, pauses definitely throw you off your flow of the game, right? You have to start, stop. And, you know, with these type of compositions.
But it's true for both.
No, it's true. It is true for both. Like, that's something that can be made comparably for both of them. But I think for Maska in particular, right, on that Uther did get caught out a couple of times. And it sounds like at least one, you know, maybe a couple more than that was due to, you know, mouse issues, game freezing. And that's something that I definitely hope we can resolve, because would be so lame to have a bunch of pauses. And also, like, for the players, right, of feeling like, you know, if you're on the side of Simplicity of, like, okay, we didn't get to beat Wah at full strength. And if you're on Team Wah of being like, man, like, we would have beat him if, you know, X, Y, or Z didn't happen. So hope that...
No, there's no, like if, whatever. I mean, I'm okay that the Europeans come in and say, like, okay, we're going to go for a bit of a handicap here in the best of 7. It's fine.
You told me this was all the strat. They're giving away a game. All right, yeah, Mascot, I'll send you the PayPal after, by the way.
We call that fair play. Like, I'm sorry.
The handicap, because they've been
That's how we do
it.
That's how we do it in Europe, you know. Instead of getting a 1-game advantage, you win the best of 7, you get a 1-map disadvantage because, you know, it's the fair play rules.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
No, I like that, you know. It's like...
As you see, I still believe.
Listen, Wah this entire tournament has been so terrifying, right? And they just dropped their first map of the series, right? Or not even the series, of the entire tournament. So even though they're down 1, the first team to win 4 is going to win this. So Simplicity still needs 3 wins. This is not an over series by any means, right? This is still anyone's game. And I feel like we'll probably see some draft adaptations for the side of Team Wah. Personally, I really like the draft from Sim. And yes, there were the draft issues, or I mean the pause issues, but I think it was more of a draft/execution advantage for the side of Simplicity there.
What I want is that they get angry and not annoyed.
Yeah, true.
I need an angry Masquerade. I don't need an annoyed Masquerade. That's pretty much what it comes down to. And by the way, if you're asking, okay, like, why are we not in the next game already? Why are we talking about draft? They are obviously restarting everything on Masquerade's side right now, so we are already looking at Alderac Pass as the second map. Every player is there. We're pretty much ready. We're waiting for Masquerade. Once that he's in, we're going to start the next game. And if the problems in some way, shape, or form continue, we're probably going to look at PC,
like a PC
switch.
swap.
Yeah, a PC swap, I suppose, would be the next step then. But yeah, so I need an angry Masquerade. Give me an angry Masquerade over an annoyed Masquerade. I need him on top of his game and saying, like, all right, let's go, boys. This is unacceptable.
Yeah, so being like, I'm not happy about how I performed in the first game versus being like, oh, so annoyed about these tech issues, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. If that starts to throw you off, if you get in the mindset where nothing flows anymore, then every single problem is starting to just get... It just compounds, and you don't want that to happen.
Yeah, I wondered if we'll see, you know, I mean, Masca has been absolutely styling on the Stitches this entire tournament, and I liked Simplicity taking that away. So going back to talking about the draft, I'll be curious to see if that's another hero that we continue to see banned out. I mean, I like taking Masquerade off that. I mean, he's very strong on other heroes, don't get me wrong. Like, his Diablo's unmatched. His Tyrael's consistently been banned in the 3rd rotation, so it's not like he's a Stitches one trick. But I just feel like the playmaking potential for that hero is massive, right? And everyone on your team just has to play in a different style. There's just this ability that you constantly have to be respecting, and I don't feel like anyone, at least at this LAN, plays Stitches from Fog the way Masquerade does. Yeah,
like, he was really strong on it. It was obviously a problem in the last series, so they start to ban this. I definitely think we're going to see the ban on more maps coming in. I also want to say that for me, it's probably a really good thing for them that they have Maka here.
Yeah.
Because, again, he has the offline experience. He's been playing for ages, and he's going to be the first one just sitting there as like, guys, like, chill. Yeah. Relax. It was like problems all over. Now let's focus, and they're probably going to use the time that they're waiting for everything to be set up properly so that they can start the next map to just go a little bit, okay, what is the game plan for the next one? He told me earlier that he was actually asking a bit about when we were listening into the player comms before the game. He was like, okay, did you do it before this and that game? And I was like, nah, I don't think we did it at the moment. And he's like, because he said he called before the game started to his team exactly how the first 10 minutes are going to go. He's going to be like, we're going to go top side, we're going to attack there, they're going to rotate here. And so he was like, I was just brilliant. Everything worked out exactly as I planned it. Exactly. It's like every move anticipated, and that would have made him look so good. So he's going with them over these things where it's like, okay, this is what probably is going to happen. If not, then we adjust here and there. And that's exactly what they need right now. Yeah, they need that cosmic brain Make coming out. But really, I mean, that is one of his biggest strengths as a player. He's powerful mechanically. I mean, we've seen his Valo, we've seen his Mephisto, but really I think the biggest strengths he brings is that calm, you know, composure, as well as like his ability to shot call. And that's something I was asking him about in his interview. Since he is the sub coming in for Dino, you know, Dino I do think took a pretty vocal role on this team, and kind of asking him about, you know, what was that like, you know, coming into this team? Are you taking a back role? Because I knew he was kind of a powerful shot caller. And he was mentioning how, you know, him, Masca, Dequaza all kind of help contribute, but Make does that thing, you know, going into the start of the game, kind of talking about his game plan, you know, preparation of like, you know, these are our win conditions, these are our power moments. And if you're looking to improve your games at home, you know, thinking ahead is one of the best things you can do. Think about, you know, critically, when are we more powerful than the opponent? And then, you know,
even if you're not playing in a party with people, articulating that to your team just in party chat.
It's really important, and then your Illidan jumps into 5 and dies. And
Yeah, true. And then you just blame your Illidan, you know, like GG, go next. Like,
First death, okay, it's over. Heard that one before. But also, next map is Alderac Pass, so I can only assume, from what it looks like, we have first pick, first ban for the European team. And that again brings me back to NA just playing completely different maps than what we're seeing in Europe.
Yeah.
We had Alderac Pass now again picked apparently by Simplicity, so they like this one too, another big map. And we could see some globals here. We could again see a focus on Falstad, maybe the Haka. It might even impact our draft, the bans.
Definitely.
Mostly. But you talked a bit about the frontline and how Masquerade is obviously a very strong tank player. And if you think about it, for most of the games, including the winner bracket final, we've seen them either target Ultralisk or Masquerade, and especially Tyrael gets just banned over and over again on the 3rd position. So team already knows if they want Tyrael, they have to pick him early now.
Yeah.
We are likely going to see the Stitches ban again.
Yeah.
On Alderac, definitely something they could run. So let's see if Simplicity thinks it's going to be an issue here too. But on the 3rd position, I expect Tyrael to again be taken away here, especially when we get the early Blaze.
Yes.
And that's something.
Double boss map too, right?
Yes, exactly. But that's also the question. Do they give them Blaze again?
I mean, it's hard, right? Because it's like they have first pick. They're going to first pick Blaze. So if you're taking away Blaze, that means you're not banning, I mean, they banned what? Stitches. And then their other one was Sylvanas.
Yeah.
Right? So it means you'd either be giving up one of those heroes for them. And I do think the Sylvanas is a very powerful hero for what you mentioned loading into the last draft of, if they get one kill, they take a mile, right? They're instantly on your fort. They're instantly pushing your towers. And I think if you're Simplicity, you maybe come out, maybe there's some map-specific things that I don't know of, but I think you maybe come out with, okay, we won game 1. Let's go with a similar, draft ban phase and see what happens. But a hero I want to mention on this map that I think really rises in priority is Hogger, right? Known for his PvE prowess, one of the best at doing that bruiser camp in the middle, which really is the objective on this map in a lot of ways. Are you there at 1 minute directly? Are you taking that camp on cooldown? And is a hero that we know Fancy Pants for the side of Simplicity likes to play. So, that's something maybe they're okay with giving Blaze up and they get Hogger later on. But, I'll be really curious to see about the Tyrael just because that's such a powerful hero. And honestly, no other tanks are really playing it and no other tanks are getting it banned against them. I mean, that's the power of Masquerade. You have to ban Stitches, you have to maybe ban Tyrael in the 3rd rotation, and it's like...
And there's obviously a few other aspects too, because what is now Team Rat doing in terms of bans? Is Chromie, now that she's been played, and you've been talking about Mara's history coming into all of this as a bit of a one trick on that, is that something they're going to ban? How much of a problem was that? She did enormous amounts of damage, but they couldn't get the Vala kill.
True.
So is that something where you say, like, okay, she's annoying, but we deal with her, or do you sacrifice a ban? Because they've been very consistent, banning out Junkrat, making sure that there's, no stun into a mine that just displaces you completely. So we're talking a lot about the ban patterns that we're seeing on the side of Simplicity, but we haven't really touched that much on Team who also has a very strict way of thinking about the bans in this series. And in a best of 7, you might have to adapt to it. So if that Chromie was something where they say, all right, that was not only, she might not have gotten the kill against Vala, but still there was just way too much damage, way too much of a problem. We have to adapt to it. We might see that ban coming in at some point. Then you always have Tracer and Zeratul to think about, which is something that Make could pick, but at the same time, that Cure is also looking for it.
Definitely. And Tracer's like the big one where Make is very powerful on that hero, does take it away. And, the Chromie ban is interesting because I think Tomb of the Spider Queen is one of the best ones for Chromie, right? And they also didn't have very much threat to get on her. As a Chromie, if they've got some aggressive heroes, maybe something like a Tyrael, a Nubarak, maybe a Genji Tracer that can get onto your Chromie, it's a way scarier game. And even though Madara is very powerful and talented on that hero, I don't know if it's something they have to ban in the early rotation, if they have to do like a 1-2 ban on it. I would expect the Junkrat. We've seen that consistently from Team Wa. And then my curiosity will be, where do they rate that Tracer and Zeratul? We've seen them on Curse Hollow consistently ban Zeratul. Maybe Alterac Pass is a map where they feel similar of like Zeratul's not a hero we want to play against.
All right. Draft is up, and there's already a lot of things to talk about because there's 3 things that happen now. So first of all, obviously everybody here is aware that in the best of 7 series, oftentimes you have the situation where the team to the winner bracket gets a 1-0 advantage. We decided against this here, also talking to a lot of the players. Instead, it was a map pick and first pick for the team that came through the winner bracket, which was Team Ma. And Masquerade comes into the lobby and he says immediately, all right, 1-1 guys, let's go. And Madara is immediately like, you wish. So he got shut down there immediately. Then we're heading into the draft, and I've been saying earlier that I want an angry Masquerade, not an annoyed one. And he shouts at the top of his lungs, just like, wah! Immediately when they're going into the draft, and I'm like, all right, we're good, we're good. Nobody's too annoyed. Nobody is like affected by it too much. They're just shrugging it off. We're good to go.
And the draft goes just how we said, you know? Zera, Junkrat ban, Stitches,
Sylvanas,
Blaze
first pick, and then you got Jojo, and Cure apparently is taking a liking for Maiev, so Ultralisk is now sitting there and is probably not too happy. He's like, that's mine, what are you doing?
And I think it's like a pretty decent solution for the side of Simplicity, right? Before, when we saw them playing, they were banning the Kerrigan and Maiev, taking him off of that, and they just opt into saying, all right, we think Maev's a little bit more strong than the Kerrigan, and if we take that away, we feel like we can play the Maiev into Kerrigan matchup and have success. And they also get Johanna, you know, a hero a lot of people consider to be pretty S tier going into that, so a pretty strong combo, the two of them.
And Uburak, so that already makes sure that they don't even have to ban Tyrael here, so that's not going to be a thing. Therefore, we're going to see a different third ban now for Simplicity. But it gives us the engage from Masquerade. They also have the side lane pressure play that they can execute with the Beatles. Rhaegar for the help on the camp, that is also a nice one. And Falser gets banned. Could lead us directly into either the Haka ban or pick now.
Definitely. And one thing to note is for the side of Team Wa, you've got three very powerful picks. You got a Nubarak, you got a Blaze, and a Rhaegar, and you haven't really shown your composition. You could go into a front-to-back, you could go into a dive composition, you could maybe even go a Blood Coolest composition, depending on what these next two picks are for the side of Simplicity.
What I, by the way, want to see at some point today, too, is Genji from Ultralisk. That's definitely another pick that eventually I just want to see. I mean, Maka can play it too, but Ultralisk oftentimes is moving into Genji. If at some point they maybe even pick an Anwen together with it, they can go for light bomb combo. Doesn't have to be this game, but eventually, considering how now Kerrigan is not suited for any map, for every map, not suited for every map, how Maiev is either banned or picked away, Genji might be a hero where Ultralisk can shine later today in the series.
Definitely, and we see the Hogger picked up for Fancy Pants. We've seen him play this consistently. I feel like, and it's going to be a Tracer and a Hanzo. I like this pick for the side of Team Wa. I mean, taking away the Tracer Malfurion, very good. Also feel like the Tracer for the side of Team Simplicity would have been scary with the dive. You know, Johanna, Maiev, Hogger, and, you know, Hanzo, just a really strong backliner. A composition that's pretty well-rounded, you know, have good fun to back with the Hanzo, with the Tracer, but also the ability to really pull the trigger and go aggressive. Burrow Strike in, you know, if you get the Dequaza on the flank, you're going to be able to deal a lot of damage with that Dragon Arrow.
Bambi, last pick. Lunara comes in. And obviously, talking about the arrows here from Hanzo, he's going to try and bring some EU arrows to NA. Alterac passes the second map, best of 7. I'm hyped. I'm glad that we got a win for Simplicity. I would have loved for it to happen in a bit of a different way, but I'm glad that they have that initial victory because it gives them momentum. And as I said earlier already to them, if you see the chance, kick their ass, make them work for it. And that's exactly what they're doing here. So yeah, that's definitely something.
You're gonna feel a little worse after Simplicity goes up 2-0, Khaldor. You know, you'll be feeling not as good about their second win.
I think you need a coffee. You're starting to dream.
Yeah, one win, I'm all high on life. I'm like, ooh, NA, baby. Okay, but looking at the drafts, is there one you favor? I mean, I know that you're Team Wa EU, but like, do you feel like it's pretty comparable? Like 45-55, 50-50? Like, is there one that you think's majorly draft disadvantage? Or
I mean, I'm obviously biased also in the sense that I cast Europe way more than North America. So I'm looking at these drafts and I'm looking at it through the European lens. And from that end, the blue team's draft is something I just enjoy way more. I also have seen Market talk a lot about how Tracer, how he feels really good with the low ping that he has in this environment. So I believe in him there. But yeah, I can see how Tracer can maybe struggle against Lunara's auto attacks if they can keep Bambi alive. So there's a lot of potential also for the NA team to really take him down. But I gotta say, I think they're highly motivated to make this work. So just from a motivational perspective, I would give it to the blue team now. Also, I want the tie here because that is going to put this entire series on another level.
Well, and I really don't think they have that much for the Tracer. Like, I think the Tracer is going to be very scary this game. You know, what do they have? Johanna Blind, maybe a raw Malfruit. You know, I think the main tool that they actually have to kill the Tracer is going to be if Cure is able to get that containment disc off. But I just think that's going to be a hard situation. But on the right, the NA team, we've got Johanna being played by Unaverted, Legacy on the Malfurion, Cure on the Maiev. We've got Madara playing the Lunara, and Fancy Pants rounding out the composition on the Hogger.
And for the European team, of course, Maka is playing the Tracer. Now we got Nagrom on Rhaegar. Ultralisk with Hanzo. He's going to try and go in for the arrows, whereas Dequaza he has a subscription for Blaze. That's pretty much what's happening here. This is the 5th time in a row now that he's picking Blaze against Simplicity, obviously always accounting for the winner bracket final as well, as we're here in the 2nd map. Yeah, and let's get the show on the road. I hope that this time we're not going to get any technical difficulties on either side here, and I want to see what the blue team can do to bring it back. Nagrom already failing me. With
the trash spray?
With a pleb spray. This spray game is not on point. I thought I talked to the boys earlier, but apparently only Masquerade got the memo.
Okay, but one thing to note, looking at these talents, we have Q build coming out from Hanzo at level 1. Definitely normally see the W build, and I'll be curious to see how they're able to stack this up. Kind of screams to me that Ultralisk is a little bit afraid about the Maiev going in for the dive and just wants a bit more poke, a bit more of a safe way to lay out that damage.
Yeah, and staying away from the Maiev is going to be big. Q did a great job on the last map. They didn't really feel that they needed to ban it out. Maybe they were also hoping that they could secure it for themselves until that first rotation came in the draft. But now they need to deal with that. Spray game much, much better on the NA side, I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, I mean, they got the simplicity in the game. I would love, I'm not going to get my hopes up, but if we get the chance to bring sprays back into the game, that would be amazing. Obviously.
You mean new ones?
Obviously biased for a 30K spray. That'd be pretty pog, not going to lie. But one thing to note is, Ultralisk went Q build. I wonder if he goes Q at 4. Nagram actually kind of running it here.
Yeah, Rega. Dude, like, wherever you run fast. Okay, so he survives, but...
He's just getting Ultralisk some stacks, dude. He said, all right, Ultralisk, I got you. I'm stepping up so you can get some Q stacks. But I was going to say, speaking of the Q build...
Ultralisk is still at 0, so that failed hard.
Okay, he did go Q at 4, so this means the boss potential for the side of Team Wall is way worse, since they don't have that scattered, they don't have the level 4, and that could be, a deciding factor potentially later on if we do see them end up going for a boss and not having enough damage, or maybe, a couple of seconds they could have been a game changer on them getting it.
Yeah, they're going for Bambi down here. Already some good damage initially with the bomb, but obviously nowhere near a kill just yet. Unaverted in his level 10 is also going to be quite important. Are we going to see the extra stun with the Blessed Shield once again, or is it going to be the jump here? So far, I think the extra layer of CC would really help them. But now, we discussed this. Every single time this camp is up, you need to take it right away. And Hogger is already pogging it out and claiming it quickly. Objective is up on the map too. Normally not really a big focus. It's more about taking the camp, and the same thing is happening now on the left side. Obviously, they're jumping on it right away. I would expect the Christmas for the first time to be attacked around level 7. Sometimes they even delayed until level 10, but not before that.
Yeah, definitely stall it out. And that's the power of the Hogger. You see they're able to get their Bruiser camp out consistently faster, and this may allow them to pressure out this mid wall a bit. If you're Cure, definitely going to be looking for that level 4 quest. Was able to get it on the Tomb of the Spider Queen. Has the Johanna to potentially help set it up. Is able to use his displacement to juke away from the Tracer Bomb here, as Cure is going to jump in, just throwing down a little more damage.
I gotta say, one of the things that I also find pretty important with the draft is we talked about the experience of Make. Him just playing in a lot of tournaments and maybe being able to, calm the team down. Ultralisk, for example, quite a young player, so that's someone that might be a little bit more affected by the loss in game number 1. But Mako also putting himself on Tracer puts him in a spot, where a lot of the responsibility is on his shoulders now. So he's really accepting that responsibility immediately here, and that's also quite an important aspect of how they drafted this.
Definitely giving him the Tracer, as it looks like Ultra is doing a lot of damage here with the Q. I'm just going to be keeping note of that, as we normally see that W build as we go along. It looks like both teams, as Khaldor mentioned, are just going to be stalling out it, not actually going over to the objective, opting to get, and right as I say that, Masquerade is going to cap it. Unaverted is there to try and cancel the channel. Able to get the blind on Tamake. The bomb does come out, not going to do that much damage, but both teams prioritizing the soak, as you also see Cure starting up that Bruiser camp for himself.
Yeah, once again, Make is going in. Needs to be a bit careful here, though, and ease out quickly as they're turning it at top. 1 stun, 2 stun, and Pants goes down.
Nazca's feeling that fire. He's pissed they lost the first game, and I love to see it.
I think you guys probably heard that, too. Like, he's shouting through the venue here, and they're coming in with another stun. They go for unaverted. Make has to back off, and Joe survives to fight another day. But they claim objective number 1. 1 kill, and the first objective for the Europeans. They're mad. They want this one. They're not happy with the result of game number 1.
We got a series on our hand, and I love to see it. I like a fired-up Masquerade, as Cure actually maybe going a bit aggressive here. Maska goes for the stun. Cure is going to be able to disjoint it. But one thing to note is Ultralisk is, has 3 of his quest stacks for his Q completed. Still has 2 more heroes to hit. But level 10 is going to be closely approaching for the side of Team Wa, but let's see what they can get off of this first objective.
Yeah, level 10 abilities are, as usual, just shifting the dynamic of the game very, very quickly here, but what can the first objective do? That's a big question. You're not going to be able to take forts down, but if you can open up a couple of walls, then you would already consider yourself quite happy there. Cure is escaping as there's a bit of a chase going on. And they might dive in deep for him. They want him, apparently. They're pinging him hard, and there's the stun, and there's the kill. Cure is down, and now the bot lane in trouble. There's the level 10. Cocoon gets used right away. There's no heroic. The arrow goes wide, narrowly missing the target. And that is another... that could have been a kill there. But it's a good defense from Simplicity as they shut down the bottom push, at least for now. But the next minion wave is already there.
Yeah, the Johanna, this is part of the power of that hero. Has so much wave clear. Could have been a disastrous situation for the side of Simplicity if they were able to follow up off of that Cocoon for Team Wa, get another kill, maybe 2 kills, and would have definitely been a dead fort. And looking at the ultimates, looks like it's pretty standard across the board. Got Hortapult, got Leaping Strikes, Tranquility, Bless Shield, Containment Disc. And, on the side of Team Wa, pretty similar.
Yeah, so Bless Shield was obviously important to lock Tracer down even harder. If they get the initial stun, they can do a bit more here. There's not that big of a lead right now for Wa, despite the kills, despite the objective. They did some damage at the bottom fort, they did some damage at the top fort, but they didn't take any of them down, so they opened up possibilities for later on in the game. Nagrom already sneaking around a bit, but he has to move straight towards the middle together with Tracer. Everybody's starting to grab up here. Madara, yeah, he needs to be careful. If Make is getting a hold of him, that could become a problem. And Make is zipping around the entire time here, just looking to needle them. Another arrow, once again dodged. Ultralisk.
Oh, Pants. Yeah. Able to escape here. Train comes out as well. Lunara going to be in the Cocoon, able to be broken out. Containment Tints coming out as well. So both teams content to use a lot of ults there. Arrow as well as Cocoon for the side of Team Wa, Containment Disc, Tranquil, and Bless Shield for the side of Team Simplicity. As the objective is going to be spawning in about 20 seconds, and the question is, what is going to happen with it? Who is going to be able to secure it? Or are they even going to fight for it? As you see Team Wa posturing on the bot side, maybe looking for this fort.
Yeah, Ultralisk in the meantime is saving his big ults for the next game. We already have the attack at the boss now, down at the bottom of the map, so they're trying to get this one. Maka obviously can do quite a lot here, but Unaverted is already on the move, sniffs it out, and is well aware of what's going on.
Ooh, Madara, forced to use one of the Leaping Stripes, is able to escape. But during all of this, we have Blaze and Hanzo pressuring on the top side. Cure is going to rotate up there to help them out, but a decent amount of damage is going onto the fort here. Cure, though, on the flank, if he's able to get onto this Hanzo, could be a very scary situation. Oh, a beautiful stun, though, coming out from... Oh, Cure.
Uh-oh, Ultralisk. Tracer already died at the bot lane, but Pants is in trouble and gets caught again. Finally, an arrow that hits, and it leads to a kill right away. With Tracer falling at the bot lane, at least they got the kills here. Masquerade still pleb spraying it around at the bottom of the map, but he's holding the lane for now. But of course, the boss is immediately getting attacked here, and the question is now, how do they deal with that situation? Masquerade scouts it out. He's well aware. The rotation is underway. And they realize it too, and they're backing off, and I think that's the correct call here.
Yeah, it would have been a very scary situation. Blaze, Hanzo, and Rhaegar would have 100% made it in time. I thought we were maybe going to see a boss trade, but looks like they do rotate down to stop Team Simplicity, pardon me, from being able to get it. As it looks like Dayquaza just looking to, get a little bit of channel time. We'll take those 7 seconds, any minor advantage that we can get, as Fancy Pants is going to be getting the siege camp out for themselves, as Team Wa just finished it for themselves. So both teams being pretty good about getting the siege camp on cooldown here.
Structural advantage still on the side of the blue team. They're looking for another push at the bot lane using, of course... Oh, nice dodge on the Cocoon. Well done. The Masquerade coming in, trying to lock Cure down. Cure, obviously, he saw that coming from a mile away. He was ready for it. Dodges the Cocoon. The fort still destroyed, and that is the second one that falls on the red team side.
And it looks like Simplicity is done with all this dancing around. It's just going to try and cap the objective. Not going to be able to get it as Dayquaza gets that first stall. Ultralisk as well over the wall, hitting with some Qs. Has the bullseye still evaded, as Unaverted is going to be forced to pop that Unstoppable. A very big cooldown for the survivability on the Johanna.
A bit of an experience even by now, obviously, for the blue team too. Now, still, everybody's looking at the objective here. We have the cap coming through from Simplicity. Dequaza and Masquerade are starting to push back in. They're trying, of course, to stop that, but also a bit of a zone against Marke. Tracer is all the way up at the top left, far away from Rhaegar, trying to get some damage in, but has to deal with bans over and over again.
Yeah, as you see Lunara, I like this rotation from Madara going over towards the Tracer to be able to zone them out as Hogger would slowly get poked on. Dequaza, though, going in onto Cure, taking a lot of damage here. Hortapult coming out as well, and Masquerade falling low, going to be the first to die. Make going in, trying to get the kill, not going to be able to do it, and this looks like an advantageous for the side of Simplicity, as during all of this, they were able to get the objective down to 4 seconds.
Yeah, they did a really, really good job just driving a wedge between the blue team, and now Masquerade is down. Dequaza gets attacked. He's able to escape, but the objective goes to Simplicity. They're still behind by half a level, so it might not give them as much as they're hoping for, because I would expect that by the time that we see the Raiders make their way over, 16 is ready for the blue team. But obviously, their positioning during that objective fight was just fantastic. It was so difficult to Marke to get any assist from the rest of this team, and for Anubarak and Blaze to properly engage.
Definitely, and with this 16 advantage, going to be hard for Simplicity to actually pressure there, but we're able to win that team fight. A pretty even game so far in the second game of this best-of-7 series. If Simplicity is able to hit 16 nearly, Cure going really aggressive here, not actually caring about being down a talent tier, recognizing they had the 4v3 as Tracer is in the top lane, looking to clear out that objective. And the question is, now that Simplicity has hit 16, are they going to look to go really aggressive here?
Yeah, Tracer pretty much done with the top lane defense, so she's going to join the fun here very soon, but in the mid lane, they have to give up the 4. This is the first one that Simplicity takes, and they got their own level 16 now available. Bottom of the map, Dequaza still doing well, but the rotation is coming. They're aware of it. They're matching it as we speak. Tracer stopping the mid lane for just a second, but the fight is going to go on here. Jet Propulsion, Iron Skin came out and saved unaverted, but they are trying to dive in with even more stuns as Masquerade is going for it with his Epicenter. Arrow and dodge. Nice map awareness from Simplicity.
Trent coming out in the turn from Simplicity. Wa, though, very hard to chase down at this point. So many mobile heroes as both teams are... Oh, Dequaza on the flank with the Blaze. Able to hit Fancy Cans. Make falling low, though. Bunker coming out as well as the Trent Cocoon. Containment Disc is onto the Rhaegar. Cure falling low here, though. Masquerade, he gets one.
There's the kill. They come in and they take Cure down, and they're chasing the rest. Pants is dead as well, and Legacy is in trouble. Run, Birdman, run. And nope, Malfurion is down. The Giza is dead, and they have the shot straight up for the boss. Great Ancestral, by the way, from Rhaegar, saving Marcus Tracer before he got this. Nicely done. 3 kills against Simplicity, and now momentum in the hands of Team Ma.
Yeah, and talking about that fire, Masquerade laying down a couple beast steps at the end after they get 3 kills, establishing dominance, letting them know, all right, that first game was a fluke and we're coming for you. I love to see that, level of intensity from the players, as the next objective is going to be spawning in 10 seconds, and it looks like the side of Team Wa is going to double boss, and then I would assume maybe look for that objective.
And they are not afraid to show it. They know at the bot lane the defense has to happen, so they just walk through the minion wave towards the top. They obviously have a lot of vision bot side too, so this is a very, very safe pick for them here. Double boss for them, 7-2 kills now. They are ahead by a level. As Michael is already lowering his head and accepting this is going to be a little rough.
A little bit. All
right, stretching. Okay.
Yes. But here, look, Simplicity before level 20. Looking to force, I like this, let the top keep push, because if you give up the boss and give up the objective with them having level 20, a good reaction speed from Cure, able to get the ult out. Cocoon actually also going out onto the Jawhani here. Don't think they're going to be able to follow up, but level 20 still hasn't been achieved, but Ultralisk at this point has completed the Q quest, which means he's going to have a drastically increased range and just laying down so much poke damage on the Hanzo this game.
I also got to say, apparently Ultralisk has already been a little bit too long in North America. These arrows are just not hitting today. So now they're going for unaverted. There's the Bunker trying to also, of course, cordon off that little corridor. And unaverted is getting the heal. They are alive. Here comes the stun, though, as Dequaza is hoping for an engage for the team. And they're starting to chase here. Make, he's the one now, trying to chase them down a little bit as Rhaegar drops another totem. And they aim for the objective. The boss at the top lane is starting to attack the keep, and we're half a level away from 20.
Yeah, looks like they're just giving up the keep here. Don't want to give up the objective, but that's the thing is, WA's going to get 20 at this point. You know, I like Simplicity trying to force them to fight before 20, but it didn't work. And now the boss is able to get the keep, and they're still going to get the objective with their level 20 advantage. And with that objective, they potentially could look to end this game with one of the keeps already down, and surely the bottom keep will most likely fall with this objective. A very dire situation for the side of Team Simplicity at this moment.
Yeah, with level 20, we get the Trader King on 20 for Masquerade. We got the Bullseye now. They're zoning them nicely here. And this is getting real rough for Simplicity. They have one level that they have to soak. They're looking, they have to look, okay, where can we make a play? There's not really a whole lot left on the map where they can go for it. They need to soak the experience first. That's why Hogga's up at the top. We see the team in the middle trying to get those waves so that they can at least defend with Storm Talons. And they still got a bit of time left. The objective hasn't been fully challenged yet either. But we have, at the bottom of the map, waves pushing in, and that could already soften up the wall a bit.
Yeah, and it has. I mean, as you see the wall pretty much completely taken out, wouldn't be surprised if we see this bottom keep fall. And if we see a good fight for the side of Team WA, potentially could be a game over situation. 16 minutes and 30 seconds into the game, level 20 almost achieved for the side of Team Simplicity. This one is going down to the wire, a 20-20 team fight. And you see Masquerade already in the wings, looking for a flank, looking for that opportunity to get a bro strike onto one of these squishy backliners.
20 any second now, and this fight is going to be super important. If you take that second keep and remove the armor shield from the core here on Alterac Pass, then you can go and make that play anytime you win a big team fight, and that's what they're hoping for right now. They're taking the towers down, the wall is destroyed. Top side, of course, going to push for the core directly. The fort in the middle is going to be taken out 100% since Simplicity has to go to the bot lane. Defend here. They can't waste their time in the middle, and they're already getting poked a little bit while they themselves are hoping to maybe get an early drop on someone. Already a play being made for an Uberak, but he's fine. Arrow coming out from Hanzo. They're trying to go for the play as the Cocoon comes out quickly, but still nobody dying here, and everybody's still fairly eager to push and drop that keep.
Yeah, that's a lot of ults used as well for both sides. Containment up as well as Hortipult Cure may look to take this, or they may just back off and look to go for the defense. They don't actually lose this bottom keep yet, as it looks like WAS wants to stay around, doesn't want to not get a keep with this objective. As you know, that top objective doesn't do anything on the core, and there it looks like Hogger's able to clear up the mid as well. A great defense so far for the side of Team Simplicity, as it looks like they may not lose any keeps actually.
Yeah, there's still a bit of poke going on, and the minion wave is now pushing in, but the red team is ready with 4. Core is getting attacked and falls low, obviously, but that doesn't mean anything since it's going to regenerate in just a few more seconds. Cure jumping back out, and this concludes the attack. The keep is in play. Simplicity, they only lost the 4 in the middle. They did well. They did really well. It was so important for them to ensure that this keep does not fall. Now the bosses are up, and it's going to be even fights on the map with level 20 in both hands.
Yeah, and, you know, well played from Nagram as well as Ultralisk, prioritizing getting up this siege camp. Simplicity is very afraid that WA was just going to back up and take the boss. And, you know, that's going to allow them to get the siege camp pressure, and Simplicity is going to now need to send someone mid to clear, or they may end up losing the fort, and this would provide an opportunity for Team WA to look for a 4v5 fight, maybe look for a Hanzo arrow.
We talked about it the entire time, how important this camp is. It is the real objective on the map here. Every time you get a chance, take it. That's what they did, and it's already pushing through the middle of the map, as you can see on the minimap. It's going to go for that keep. The longer the situation at the bot lane lasts, the better for Team WA. That's why Q engages. That's why they're going. The arrow, Hanzo arrow is already out. Even the Ancestral is being used here. Masquerade gets attacked. Masquerade in trouble, gets tethered. The bunker is on the ground. Big fight here. They're trying to turn it again on Hogger, but it's the Quasar who's in trouble. And both side laners die.
You got to back off and defend mid here as well. Oh, it looks like Simplicity is feeling powerful here, just opting into the boss, saying who needs that mid keep. And Ultralisk laying down so much damage here. That Q build doing so much, but Simplicity feels powerful here. They feel like they have the stronger 4v4 in this situation. They want the fight. They don't care about that mid pressure.
At the same time, the keep in the middle is in trouble. Marker! He goes for Madara, and he takes them down. Bambi is dead, so is Maiev. They're cleaning house. Legacy falls next. They are taking out the NA players as they move towards the middle. The bot lane keep, the mid lane keep, they're all low. The only survivor is Johanna. That simply has to be game. Yes, Hogger is going to be back in 15, but the blue team pushing in aggressively, trying to finish what they started, trying to tie the series after initially losing Tomb of the Spider Queen. Team WA is going for the win. Johanna is simply not enough. Unavert is trying as best as he can. Hogger also coming through, but there's just no way anymore. Rhaegar is dead, but it means nothing. Team claims a victory in game number 2 of the grand final, the best of 7 series. And we have a match in our hands.
We've got a series, that's for sure. And Masquerade is hyped up at the end there, screaming, yelling, winning that team fight, getting, that fire, that passion that we love to see. And, he seems mad and not annoyed, and I like to see it. But that game was pretty close at the end there. I mean, maybe a bit of a questionable play from Simplicity at the end, opting to take that boss, opting to take that 4v4. But, it's kind of a coin toss, level 20, but just the Tracer has so much free reign there because Johanna has to stand in front, has to, be there tanking the boss. Would have liked to maybe see them just back up, take their siege camp, clear out mid, but
I think their thought was really, if we don't take the boss, if we don't force that play, we go back into the middle, we defend our keep, and while we do that, they take it.
Yeah, it's
and
hard.
then we lose the bottom keep, and if we lose a hero, they go straight for the core. So I think that was just a decision made out of them being in a bad spot where they said, like, yes, we don't really want this. We would like to defend the middle, but the second that they see one hero there, they're going to make the play for boss. We're going to be forced in this, like, do or die situation. So they try to make the best out of it, I suppose. But as you said, this was a lot closer than the kill count towards the end led you believe. And throughout the entire game, if one of those big team fights goes the way of Simplicity and they get the kill there, they have the momentum. So, yep, they definitely, after the loss in the winner bracket, came in with a bit of a plan. They changed their ban pattern. They got rid of Sylvanas, they got rid of Stitches, and things are working quite well for them. With Cure also, maybe not so much on the second map, more so on map number 1, but he's doing well on the Maiev. Like, he's really putting pressure on.
And I agree. I feel like the Maiev in the first game was very, very powerful. But that actually was something I wanted to mention. It felt like, Team Wa had a lot more tools, had the Hanzo with the constant poke. I felt like I was watching a lot of these team fights, and Ultralist was just, you stealing my Maiev, I'm going to hit you with every single Q. Like, you're going to hate your life. And
he had 80,000 damage towards the end.
A lot. Like, almost 11, almost 15,000 more than the next closest player. So, yeah, I will be curious to see if they prioritize the 1-2 Maiev again. It has been working, taking it away. But, I mean, worked in the first game, didn't work in the second game. So I'll be curious to see if we see like some sort of adaptation from Simplicity draft-wise into the third game.
Before we're heading into the third game, we're going to have a quick break here, bathroom break for the players, and them probably also double-checking that everything is fine. We had no technical issues here on the second map, so thank God for that. But yeah, so we're going to be back in just a second, guys, with game number 3 in the best of 7 series. It's the grand final, North America versus Europe, Simplicity versus Team. Stay tuned. As we head into the third game, so one of the teams is going to pull ahead here. We're going to find out which one. As on the left side, in blue, the Europeans with Make on Sylvanas de Quasar for the first time against Simplicity on another hero than Blaze. He's playing the Haka. Nagrom on Uther on the Pleb Horse. Same for Masquerade with us, Johanna. And we got Ultralisk playing Genji.
The third game of this best of 7 finals. NA trying to bring it home. We've got Cure playing the Falstad Fancy Pants on the Blaze. We've got Madara playing his, one-trick Chromie. Not a one-trick anymore, but a hero he really made a name for himself on. We've got Unaverted on the Diablo and Legacy rounding out the composition on Rhaegar.
This is going to be great. Every single time you have a tie in a series like this, especially, if it's like a best of 5, it's a best of 7, it's just awesome to see who pulls ahead and puts the pressure onto the opponent's team, and that's exactly what we're seeing here again. The Soul Shield on Diablo on level 1. We have in the mid lane, no real brawl really. At this point, it's a rotational play from Make and his boys. And talking about Chromie, Make ate that one. That was a lot of damage on Sylvanas.
And I like Simplicity. They didn't go for the level 1 brawl in case Sylvanas went top side, bot side. Don't want to let them get that free push. But, in the draft, we were talking about how the meta does evolve over these best of 5s, over these best of 7s. And Johanna, a hero that a lot of people consider to be, first pick, first ban worthy, falls all the way to that 3-4. Something that Simplicity, it was up. They opted for the Diablo instead. So it seems like Johanna in this final series falling in priority. And part of that comes from Masquerade's power on that Stitches, on that Tyrael, where they're like, you know what, we don't have to pick Johanna. We'd rather get one of these 2 tanks instead, or at least leave ourselves flexible. So interesting meta adaptation as Johanna is falling in priority.
Both of the teams take their pumpkin camps. In this case, that was the first opportunity to be a bit aggressive, trying to go for the opponent's camp instead. But of course, that can backfire quickly, and then you're definitely taking a bit of a backfoot there. But again, the poke from Ultralisk as he's starting to slowly go for Unaverted here. Both are, of course, now going to try and take those pumpkins out to make sure that they are avoiding structural damage at those walls.
Yeah, both teams having one global, so potentially could see Dehaka or Falstad come down. Probably will want to save those for the first objective, though, but if a fight really does break out. But unaverted here on the Diablo getting chunked out. Madara also time trapping himself is going to be okay here, though. Does have 6 Q stacks as well, so just going to try and need to keep a note of these boomerang stacks, of these chromie stacks, as both of those are pretty big DPS if they are able to really stack them up. And I like Falstad here going for the shield on their static shield here just in case they do get the Genji going aggressive on them, gives them a little bit more sustainability, a little bit more 1v1 power.
Yeah, against the hero like Genji, it makes a whole lot of sense to adapt your build a little bit to make sure that you have the survivability there. The damage is in against Diablo, but also the blue team is taking quite a bit of poke from Chromie in particular. And of course, now we're going to have the first objective announced. There it is. The altars are going to activate. First rotation, triple as usual. Normally we have the 2-1 trade. Cure!
Close.
Already getting attacked here. And falling back, having to use the global to arrive in time probably.
Yeah, and you know, pretty even game at this point. First altar phase is going to be spawning in about 10 seconds. And the question is, what are we going to see as far as splits go? Looks like Blaze is looking to clear another top wave. If Dehaka went for a quick Z, could look for it. But we kind of expect to see some stalled out. Both teams want to make sure they prioritize some soak. Legacy able to get the first poke here with that totem, as Blaze is going to get stalled by Genji in the top right.
Yeah, Ultralis is trying to delay him a little bit, but already at the bottom of the map, the real fight is breaking out. Cure is now helping out too, so it is a numbers advantage down at the bottom of the map. And there's Chromie. Chromie getting attacked here and is getting dropped by Uther as he drops the hammer. And the fake dragon goes down.
Yeah, and that's going to be the Chromie falling, and that's going to be 4 more shots going in favor of Team Wa. And yeah, level 7, closely approaching
You're
for both
getting the
teams.
hang of it.
Hey,
I'm proud of you.
You know, I'm scaling into the late game as well. It's the grand finals. I figured it out.
You noticed that too, right? You dropped it and you're like, that was good.
Yeah, I know. I was like, ooh, that was the pitch. That's what I needed.
But yeah, here we go. So we have the first kill of the game. Chromie went down, but in comes Simplicity as they're trying to go for a counter kill. And that was a nice cleanse there once again from Uther. He had some really nice moves. Now, Nagrom, again, in case that you're not aware of it, he's not traditionally a support player. He's a little bit of a jack of all trades, but he is not a main support. So he subbed in since Zelia couldn't go to the event, and they made the decision early that he has really had some great moments, not only here, but also in the winner bracket. They steal the camp away. Big plays here from Simplicity, and they want to go for the kill. Jet propulsion. And there it is. The kill on Jojo as Masquerade falls. Is looking for the counter kill. They're trying for unaverted. The body blocks are there. Nicely done. But it's still the end of Dibbles. A lot of terror on my ass. Weak kitten, more like it. But there's another kill, and they're going for the doggy too.
Sheesh.
Ultralisk with a triple, baby! And Q comes in as well. Ultralisk just styling on them.
Yeah, literally at like 200 or 300 HP, just bobbing, weaving, getting those E resets, and asserting dominance, and Masquerade popping off after that. So happy that his team is able to get a big team fight win there, and they're a full level up as this is going to be level 10 closely approaching for them, and 4 more shots surely going their way as well. It looked so good for Simplicity for a second there, but Ultralisk able to clean them up.
But it definitely did, right? For a moment, it really looked like it's not only going to be the kill against Johanna, it felt like they could have gotten another one, a second, maybe a third, and then Ultralisk just absolutely pops off and says like, okay, this is my time to shine, goes in, takes 3, then they are able to also drop Falstad on the back end. With now 5 kills to 1, they have the early level 10. They're using it. They're trying to go for Cure here. They're attempting to steal the camp away before Simplicity can get their heroic abilities. Great moment for the blue team as they are dominant on the map for now.
Definitely. And I mean, now that the fight stopped a little bit, you were mentioning Nagrom being such a flex player, normally known to be a tank, and just someone, you know, did win CCL Flex Player of the Year, someone that is, you know, pretty fresh and new to the scene. It's exciting to see that new blood within Heroes of the Steam, and someone that I think has a bright future as a tank or a support player, as Dequaza getting a bit chunked out here, and that is going to be Pants securing the top pumpkin camp.
36 points on the core against 28. They again go for Cure, and he's even gusting. He realizes that this could be a problem. The second that the stun hits him, he's a goner. So he drops the gust. He knows that he has quite a bit of time before he's going to need it again. But that was a nice play by him. Good reaction. They rotate down to the bottom of the map once more as they're making a play for Unaverted, but he's attempting to turn it around against Masquerade. Pants now coming in too. Cure is with them, so it's literally 5 versus 4 since Dehaka is all the way up at the top. Could always global in. But so far, I gotta say, we have a lot of value from Dehaka. He's doing a great job side soaking, and in minion experience, we have the blue team already ahead by 1,000 points.
Wow. And yeah, you can see it, pretty much a full level lead for them as the next objective is going to be spawning in about 15 seconds. And this is going to be a close one. But looking at the ultimates, we got Bless Shield for the Johanna, as well as, you know, on the side of Simplicity, the Lightning Breath. So no APOC, X Strike for Genji. Just, you know, kind of pointing out a couple of the ones that can go either way. Cure potentially in a scary situation as Dehaka is going to be Zing behind.
Ultra's coming in again. Here comes Dehaka looking for the isolation and the drag. The Ancestral saves the birdie for now, but the fight isn't over by any means. Here's the Lightning Breath as Simplicity aims to turn it around. Madara waddling away here as he's a bit isolated from the rest of the team, but they're able to group up again. No death just yet, but still that leading experience for Team.
Yeah, no ults for either side outside of Slowing Sands on that Chromie. And I think that does maybe favor Simplicity a little bit as the D-Shield, as the X-Strike are pretty big. We see the Unstoppable forced for the Johanna, and Madara during all of this just looking to throw in a bit more damage. But again, Ultralisk on the Genji, just kind of waiting in the wings, looking for opportunities to chunk the heroes out. Oh, Unaverted though, able to read that. The Slowing Dance as well. Ultralisk going a bit too far. Is he going to survive? Yes, he does. Just knowing his limits, I spoke wrong as 13 is about to be achieved for the side of Wa.
That's generous. Knowing his limits, he's like, team, I have a problem. Unaverted read him like a book there, and without Uther coming in at the last moment, he would have fallen. So yeah, on the one hand, Ultralist definitely making the right plays there, but I think he was a bit surprised when Diablo just caught him and was able to get him still in the sands. Ooh. But again, here's the fight. Bunker's already out. They're going for it again. And level 13 gives the lead over to them, but the jet propulsion and Masquerade, he's alive. He dies finally, but so does Diablo. Diablo dead. Returning. He'll be back. Can they stall enough though?
As it looks like Madara does finish up his stacks here. Still the 13 advantage for D-Shield coming out. Pants, though, on the Blaze. Surely going to be the next to fall. Chromie trying to do so much damage here. And with Diablo coming back in, even though the 13 advantage is in favor of Wa, Simplicity is going to be able to secure this cap.
Yeah, they're going to get it. Cure is already on it. They got the additional kill, but that was nicely done. Another couple of shots fired. I mean, now it's at 32 to 28. Still fairly close between the two of them. But the level lead, it's nearly an entire level now that we have for them. Obviously, it's 13 versus 13, but it's all about the level 16 then and what you can do, especially at the next triple phase.
Yeah, but Towers of the Doom, you know, nature of a map where, okay, if you have to give a couple of shots on an objective, that's okay. You know, you can just stall out, take a couple of shots because, you know, they have 28 to spare at this point. But we're going to see Wa look to pressure into the bot side here. Do have the global pressure of the Dehaka, so it looks like they are pretty confident to do this. And the cleanses from Nagram have been on point this game so far.
Absolutely. He did it multiple times against Diablo now, and it is just so valuable to have him in here time and time again with the read. Marker, though, eating big damage, but the Gust saves him from any follow-up. Quasar, on the other hand, he is eating the Lightning Breath, and he's not the only one. They are able to drop Jojo as well. 4 kills, 2-7, and Simplicity is on the warpath.
I think I saw a couple of B-steps in there as well after they got a couple of kills. The NA boys smacking back here in Maska. Pop off, seeing him B-step. They want to, you know, send a message of their own. And that XP lead we've been talking about for Team Wa has been evened up, and they may go, oh, Nagram here does have the D-Shield, going to be forced to use it. Wailing Arrow still available for the Sylvanas as Dehaka's up in 4 seconds. Johanna's up in 5 seconds, but I think this is going to be the fort going the way of Simplicity, and this is a big thing if they're able to secure it.
Yeah, that bell tower should fall here. Unaverted is always looking for the engagements we just could see against Uther. Now, big comeback map obviously here. So now with the fort, we have also the experience lead taken for the red team. But Quasar is getting a channel at the top. Falset is flying back. Shouldn't be a problem for the blue team to at least secure 3 shots here. But that is closing the gap between the two of them a little bit. And of course, they need the poke. They need to retake the bot lane. It's the most important lane on Towers of Doom. Not only do you have 2 pumpkin cams that travel through it and can directly damage the core, but it's also about getting access to that bottom altar when it pops up again. That's where Sylvanas comes into play now. They need to push onto the bell tower eventually and take it.
And this is a very close game. 27 shots for the side of Team Watt to 25 on Simplicity. Pretty much neck and neck in experience. Positionally, structurally, the slight advantage is in favor of Simplicity, but this really is anyone's game in this game 3 of this best of 7. And this is for the championships. This is for who decides, which region is stronger, who is better on that even 30 to 30 ping, which region is better. And what a series this is going to be and has been so far.
Bottom of the map now, they're starting to push for the bell tower. As already mentioned before, Pumpkin Camp is coming in again. And Dehaka is pushing against Falset. So Kura has now traveled to the top lane to meet up against him. Needs to. The Quasar moving from lane to lane to secure the experience for them. But here comes the Chromie plays once more with the help of Diablo. Nagrom moving in for the stun, gets it, but the jet propulsion hits him hard. Here's the Ancestral and the Lightning Breath. The end of Uther as he's getting dropped. Is there a counter kill possible for him? It doesn't look like it. Muck instead gets attacked and dropped. And Simplicity is getting more and more momentum here in the mid-game on Towers of Doom.
Yeah, and that was a really well played for. I have to single out Legacy on the Rhaegar, hitting the cleanse, allowing Chromie to get away just a little bit, buying a little bit more time. Chromie activates the ice block. They have Gust as well, and it's just so hard to take out this Chromie. Actually, Unaverted getting dragged in here. Going to take a decent amount of damage from Ultralisk as well as Dayquaza. Think they still should be able to get this cap, but he has to be a bit careful if he does overextend here, as Unaverted. No Ancestral for their team, but Madara able to get the cap. Yeah, that's going to be a 15-shot swing in favor of Simplicity.
This is massive. They're going to drop them down into the... Wow, they are murdering them right now.
Big confidence.
That's 15 points off the core through the altars alone, and on top of that, they're getting the boss, so they're dropping them not only into the single digits, they're going to be on 5 points. And this has always been an insane comeback map, but this is big.
Yeah, that was a massive swing for Simplicity. And winning that team fight, I mean, I feel like Chromie is such a hard hero to kill at this point with the Falstad Gust, with the Ancestral Cleanse, Bunker, as well as the Ice Block
Diablo
on Chromie.
too.
Yeah,
He's just bullying you around at the front.
They have so many tools to actually stop them from being able to get it. And the Diablo, like you mentioned, actually stunned the Sylvanas, stopping the Wailing Arrow from connecting onto the Rhaegar and the Chromie. Really good job from Simplicity, peeling out of their mind there for Madara.
Yeah, if this continues, then Chromie might be something that they're going to target in the ban phase eventually as well, or at least address a bit better during the draft, because now things are really tricky. 5 against 25, we've seen crazier comebacks happen on this map. This is a lot more momentum-based, and the bell tower at the bot lane was retaken, so that stabilizes them a little bit. But of course, they can't have any big blunders anymore. If they lose a huge team fight when the boss is still up, one altar channel and the boss, and that's it. So they need some kills, and they need momentum. They need to utilize Sylvanas to take some bell towers themselves.
Yeah, and it looks like you see Wah constantly looking for an opportunity, constantly looking for a pick, feeling the desperation in this third game. Series is definitely not over if they lose this one, but they have to dive. They have to get a good opportunity here. But I don't know if you can invade this siege camp, and they do kind of back off. It's just such a hard choke to walk into with the Diablo wallbangs, with the Chromie slowing sands. So I like them kind of posturing, at least feigning aggression, but not actually going for it. I think is the right move here from Team Wah.
And they move to the mid lane a little bit, use Sylvanas there to get some extra damage, whereas Dehaka has focused topside on the camp and is now connecting with that. 19 to 19, so we're waiting for the 20s here too.
Oh,
that is a problem. That's a huge problem. That can't happen. He gets completely caught off guard with his pants down. Here's the Gust that saves Mucke.
Oh.
So Mucke just got saved by Cure, but they turn again and they get Blaze. What?
And they stall the Chromie channel.
But then again, we already have Ultralisk.
A healer to no heal,
first of all, is a little blow.
Very rough situation for Team Wah, as they don't have any healer to help up with these, HP bars. Level 20 closely approaching, though, for Team Wah, as Chromie is looking to get the bot channel, going to be able to get it, as Team Wah maybe just opting into the fight here, looking for Unaverted.
The channel happened.
Yes.
1 point on the core. They try for the kill, but the Ancestor is ready. 1 point to 25. There's an altar up on the map. You are forced into the battle, and you don't have a support. You don't have a heal.
Oh, Make going to be able to get the stall, but forced to get out. Uther's up in 5 seconds. If they can get one more stall here, does Ultralisk have it? Okay, he is able to get out. Storm Shield instantly selected by Masquerade to heal their team up. This is a crazy last cure though.
Oh, Make! And the kill! The Haka is dead too. Falstad eliminated. Uther back to business. And they are fighting tooth and nail for the position around the altar. They need to take it. They're down to the last point on the core. Divine Shield is up. Ultralisk is moving in. Blaze is back. He's back as well. They want Diablo. He goes for the stun, for the re-engage, and he drops Make. Uther is dead again. He came, he saw, he died again. Veni, Vidi, BG. And that is game. They are channeling. No chance for WA to win this any longer. 4 against 2 situation on the map. The shots are flying, and the lead goes to North America again as Simplicity locks in the W on Towers of Doom.
But what an epic team fight at the end there. Oh my gosh, I can't believe WA was able to get that kill under their tower onto the Blaze, evening it up versus the 4v5, doing such a good job. But I mean, Simplicity in the end there, able to just barely eke out the team fight. But I mean, it was 27 shots to 25, and literally one team fight had this massive, 19 shot difference. Yeah. So really, if WA won that fight, could have had a similar opportunity for themselves. Really kind of came down to the wire there. This is a close match we've got on our hands.
But unaverted. Massive, massive kills from him, or setups at least. Like, he got Uther multiple times, and getting him in that last moment just before the fight breaks out for the final 2 altars, getting that stun and that engage was just huge. And he was so aggressive the entire time. Even before that, when they were fighting for the bell tower, he made this long leap to Uther and forced him to use the Divine Shield even previously. So, yeah, big plays from Diablo, for sure. We talk a lot about Chromie and the damage output. The follow-ups were great, but the engages that we saw from Diablo there were just fantastic.
Well, and Diablo, second highest damage on his team with 40,000. Chromie was at 55,000 to put it in perspective, right?
That too.
Throwing down the deeps, and also unaverted, a range player, a DPS player, role swapping for this event, playing the tank, and like Khaldor mentioned, showing up big for his team when it matters in Game 3 of the Grand Finals.
Absolutely. So now we got the lead for Simplicity again. We're heading into map number 4. Which is going to be Volskaya Foundry, which immediately tells me that it's the map pick of the North American team.
Yeah, of course. They wanted a 40-minute game. What can we say? They're doing it for the fans.
Exactly. You guys got Alterac and you got Volskaya. So let's get the trash maps out of the way. I like the approach. But yeah, Volskaya is going to be coming up next as our 4th map, and the lead for Simplicity. Way different series from what we saw in the winner bracket final.
Yeah, no, definitely a close one. I mean, WA kind of face rolling through the bracket up until this point, but really being tested by Simplicity at this point. 2-1 in favor of Simplicity. Not match point yet. Still 2 map victories required for Simplicity to advance, but this feels like a series that potentially could go the distance. I feel like we could see all 7 games come out because it really has been neck and neck.
I think for Volskaya, I'm not quite sure if you're going to give that priority to Diablo, that you try and address him somehow on Tomb. Yes, Diablo had a huge impact, but I don't think that it's really worthy a ban or anything. But you could definitely argue that Chromie on this map is so huge that banning her makes sense against someone like Vadara. Because in game number 1, we were asking ourselves the question, okay, she didn't really get the kill against Vala that she was looking for. Is it worth a ban? Yes, no. They decided against it on the 2nd map. They won it. But now that we had it again, and it had that much of an impact, not only with the shots, but also with the slowing sands that were really in conjunction with Diablo and his engages, causing huge problems for them. That might be something that they're going to address with the ban.
Well, and a very powerful Chromie map, and something we've seen consistently in the ban phase for Team WA is to take away that Junkrat in the first 1-2, and that's something where I mean, I don't know. We haven't seen very much Junkrat in this tournament as a whole, and maybe that's a pick that they swap over to the Chromie because, this being a map that is pretty much guaranteed to go level 20, I like the Zeratul ban, right? A hero that is so powerful with 16, so powerful with 20, Cure, one of the best in the world on it. I think that Zeratul ban is probably pretty much a lock, and maybe, instead of getting rid of the Junkrat, you get rid of the Chromie because we've seen Madara twice in both maps that they've won have, very high proficiency on it.
Also, the question becomes even more dominant. What is happening with Blaze here? Blaze winning again. He lost 1 single map when these teams faced off against each other so far. And every single time we have that first pick coming in, Blaze gets locked. And on Volskaya, he's even more impactful. So is that something that Simplicity might attack in the bans where they are saying, okay, so far we focus on Stitches. We're trying a lot of times to get rid of the Sylvanas. On the 3rd, it's normally Tyrael, unless they already picked the main tank. But now that they know that Blaze is going to be that first pick, very likely again, Are they going to ban him out, or do they just say, okay, we're going to deal with him?
Well, I think Stitches is gone for sure. So you're letting Sylvanas through potentially, I think, if you do end up opting into that Blaze. I mean, I don't know if they're scared of something like a Maiev, right? They did opt for a Maiev ban as well. So, you know, if they do take away that Blaze, like you mentioned, has been very high win rate, played exceptionally by both teams, especially Dayquaza on it, has just been an outstanding rock star. You know, it could be a good ban if they don't want to, you know, if they fear it more than something like that Maiev or that Sylvanas. I think Sylvanas on this map, less powerful, right? Just because it is hard to end. Also, you know, the objective is not as powerful with the Sylvanas because a lot of times, you know, if you only have 3 heroes there, Sylv can't really step up and disable everything. So I think Sylv does drop in priority in comparison to the other maps. So I think we could see that, oh, my brain's blanking on what hero we were just talking about. Blaze, that Blaze ban instead of the Sylvanas.
Yeah. Teams are getting ready, and then we can start. We have everybody already in the lobby, and it seems like Simplicity is good to go. We're just waiting for Wa to signal that they are ready, but I see Maka walking around. So we'll see what they're doing here right now.
He's just getting a little bit of stretching, you know, he's getting ready. He's like, I've been sitting all day. I had a long plane ride. I got to get up, get that blood flowing for this next series. But okay, Volskaya Foundry, speaking of Make, Mephisto, a very powerful Mephisto map, and Make known to be one of the better.
It's his OG map.
Yes.
Yep. But, well, we're actually starting the draft up, so we'll see if he goes for that. But that's a very good point, because that's an option not only for them, but we could also see it for Simplicity again.
Madara played well on it earlier.
Exactly. So that's definitely a potential pick. And Maka has been talking about it, how that was also a problem when they were trying to end in one of the previous games against Simplicity, that the damage output from Mephisto just really pushed them back once more. But, well, here comes Zeratul, so he's getting banned out first. We already expected that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Kira's like, okay, I'm the hero. You know, he learned everything from me. Let's get it straight. You know, he asked me, paid me $20 an hour for lessons, and, you know, I taught him everything he knows.
Is that why he doesn't pay Void Prison?
Yes, that was my first lesson, actually. It was the first I said 5 minutes in. All right, so you pick Maida the Nerazim, because that way you can't VP lol yourself, all right?
Exactly.
But, you know, this is really what I'm going to be curious for. 8 seconds running down. What is this ban? Is this going to be, you know, Junkrat? Is it going to be Chromie? I really would potentially like to,
Yes, there it is.
I like the Chromie ban.
They're hesitating and they're adjusting. They're saying, okay, you're one-tricking this too hard. This is going to be a problem. The slowing sands have been just absolutely annoying. We can't move, so let's get rid of this. Leaves Junkrat open.
Yes.
So that might be something that Simplicity can now exploit. They forced that ban, and here's the Blaze adjustment.
Look at us with this draft, bro. Oh my gosh, wow. It's like, put us up there. We could do this, all right? I'll draft the NA boys, you draft the EU boys. But, yeah, I mean, this is an interesting...
for a match. Vikings everywhere, Murky, Nova, let's go.
I mean, I was really pulling for the Vikings earlier, right? But Diamond Hands is out. So Rhaegar first pick, though. Pretty interesting, opting into that support. Again, Johanna falling in priority. Not a hero that people are highly prioritizing, but Junkrat has made it through the draft. I would not be surprised. I'd actually be surprised if they don't pick it here in the 1-2. A very powerful hero. I think pretty strong on this map as well with the boops, with the traps. Also good poke damage. And there it is.
Jojo and Junkrat, both of them locked in right away. So, yeah, that's exactly, I mean, that was to be anticipated.
Yeah.
That was to be expected. We thought that would happen. They must have expected it as well. So now the only question is how do they adjust to it? How they deal with Junkrat. There's a lot of combos that they can execute with him. If Jojo goes for a Blessed Shield, even if it's just a follow-up on a good Condemn, Junkrat can immediately put you out of position. Might that be another one where there's Mephisto? Talked about him too, so we get him here.
And I like that they pick it right here, because I think that Simplicity bans Mephisto. I think they ban Mephisto in the third rotation. And I was thinking about that. Do you just rip it? And Make says, you know what? I'm guaranteed to get level 20 this game, and I'm going to show you guys why they call me the best European Mephisto in the game.
Yeah, he's the OG Mephisto on that. So we talked about this actually in length earlier, and he was saying, okay, when I watched the Chinese and the Koreans play, it was just like, hold you. I've been talking about it the entire time. Nobody believes me.
Yes.
So Diablo gets banned. They don't want it in the hands of Masquerade. They could go for the dive here. They have Urel already, so you can go with a Nubarak if you want to.
And when I think of Urel, there's two players that come to mind for me. In Europe, it's definitely Dayquaza. I feel like his Urel is so powerful. In North America, it's Liam. But Dayquaza playing Urel for the first time on the cast is very exciting to see. Has kind of been a Blaze one trick so far. But I am interested to see how he's able to get impact on this hero. Junkrat, a very vulnerable target if Urel is able to get a good flank, able to get that knockback off the boop. So a lot of this game could come down to how well does Dayquaza set up flanks on this hero?
A lot of the mobility now banned out. They're targeting Cure again with the Tracer ban. So after Zeratul got eliminated, now it's Tracer that they're trying to get rid of. Stands, of course, a question what Cure is going to play now. We still have a lot of the previous heroes still up. Maiev, for example, could also taken by Masquerade, but there comes Falstad. All right.
Not the highest damage, though, for the side of Simplicity, right? Like, Junkrat, Falstad, not a super high DPS. I mean, Falstad does bring that global pressure, which is very, very nice. And, you know, Junkrat has burst with the Riptire, but right now, you know, Mephisto on the other side is definitely higher damage per them.
The one thing that I also want to point out, when we're talking about regional differences, obviously these days when you have a lot of the the European players also playing on North America, granted not quite with the pool because of the ping differences, the meta is a little bit closer together, but we've seen now over and over again from multiple NA teams Malfurion as a rather high priority.
Yes.
And Team White doesn't care about him at all.
Yeah.
So they haven't neither banned him, they haven't picked him, they just don't want him. Now we get the Maiev. We have Tyrell for the first time here. So you got Urel, you got Maiev and Tyrell at the first. And the final pick, Cure, that's the one. What is he going to do now?
Oh, he's going to pick the Leoric, which does help with a level 20. Entomb is very strong. But I kind of feel like that Malfurion you were mentioning about, I think that was the trigger for them to pull Maiev as well as Tyrael. You know, Malfurion, a hero that's very much able to be dove, a hero that is able to be taken out, and Maiev and Tyrael should be able to jump on and to get that hero.
I'm also not quite sure if I like the Leo pick. Urel jumps out, Maiev moves out, Tyrael jumps out, can also provide the sanctification, Mephisto catching him, we'll see, Rhaegar maybe. So until you hit level 20, Leo is just going to be a farm bot that is trying to get the wave clear in.
Yeah. But maybe they're just kind of playing for 20 here, recognizing that this map is one that often goes late. Also, is relatively good into the Protector, right? If you're able to get the drain on the Protector, reduces that value since you do have a decent amount of split pressure.
And as we all know, the Protector does enormous amount of damage and really needs to be dealt with. Kappa.
Yeah, you know, Protector, very scary on this map. Very, very scary. But, I mean, I feel like the aggression from the side of Team Wa is going to be something that the side of Simplicity definitely has to respect, has to be afraid of. But they do have the Falstad Gust. They do have some tools to help themselves out here, have that Junkrat Boop to potentially stop the Tyrael Sank. So a lot of this game, I think, is going to come down to how well is Masquerade able to time those Sanks? Is his team able to follow up? Because there are some tools for Simplicity to counteract it. Love the crowd screaming for his team. Oh, they said, let's go, Wa! I love to see it.
Well, here's the chance. Let's go. Game on as we are headed into game number 4. The 2-1 lead for Simplicity and A on home turf, a bit ahead here. And finally some mount changes. Look at that. They discovered that they can go for the Tigers here. So we got Dequaza this time on Urel. We got Nagrom with the Rhaegar dance. Marcus playing Mephisto, Masquerade on Tyrael, and Ultralisk on Maiev.
Yep, then on the right in the red, we've got Simplicity up 2-1 in this series so far. Can they finish it? Can they take down the European Titans? We've got Madara playing Junkrat, Pants on that Leoric, Unaverted again playing the Johanna, Cure on the Falstad, and Legacy rounding out the composition on the tree himself, Malfurion.
Lots of hope for Jojo on the level 1 and Austin's renewal, so a lot of self-sustain for Johanna and for Leoric, the two frontliners. Not quite that dependent on their support, therefore, but already the tether's over here.
Legacy.
Legacy is in trouble, and with trouble, I mean he's dead.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the Malfurion, right? Like, you get gone on, you get put in a scary situation, and you're definitely going to die. So you have to be careful as Malfurion on your positioning.
Yeah, he's not too healthy to begin with. I mean, Arthritis Boy is having a little bit of a problem. Have you ever selected him in, like, quick match? Like, he literally puts his hand out and is shaking the entire time. Like, he has issues. It's either too much caffeine or he has some health problems. But the second kill, the Squishies, they're falling. They move in, and Ultralisk is stepping up for the team.
Yeah, and Uli is setting up a lot of kills here, and that's, I mean, we're only a minute in, but 2 kills already. That aggression from Team Wa coming out, and they are going to be the first one onto their turret camp. And remember, those are a very important objective on this map. Allows you to have more, you know, team fight potential, team fight power level, let's call it, in these objective fights. And it looks like Team Wa is potentially posturing for the invade here, or Dequaza is just baiting it out and scaring them with a potential rotate.
But they're rotating over towards the camp. Are they going to go and make a play for the support camp? Yeah, it seems like it. Now, that's obviously the next big objective, so to say, on the map. You're trying to get the second item, and since they have level 4, as you just pointed out, they have the lead here. And it's a little bit tricky for Simplicity to catch up, so they let this one slide. But Unaverted gets attacked right away here. Popsy early in skin. Cure also barreling over. They're still Gucci, all fine here, but of course the experience lead already going over to the blue team.
Quaza laying down some B steps, letting them know, all right, even though you're up one game in this series, I ain't scared, I'm coming for you. And it seems like Team Wa, you know, definitely in this fourth game has a lot of aggression and, you know, are up half a level already, you know, pretty early into the game, about 2 minutes, 20 seconds, have the, you know, priority on item camps with that heal, and definitely leading into this first objective have a bit of a slight advantage.
Yeah, I mean, they're just employing the European tactics right now. You give your opponent hope and then you take it away. that way the loss hurts so much more.
NA copium, you know?
Unaverted. Body blocked. Oh, the mace to the face as Urel moves in and sets the kill up. Third kill now, and well, level 7 is pretty important around the first objective. They are so far ahead in experience that they will definitely take the initial lead on the checkpoint.
Ooh, and the Totem, Ultralisk maybe looking for an opportunity there. Half a level lead for the side of Team Wa, but remember, this is Volskaya Foundry, and the side of Simplicity has pretty good clear onto the Punisher. But what I'm afraid of for them is that, you know, Team Wa is going to get the objective and just dive, right? They're just going to use it to tank the fort. They're going to use it as a way to get their Tyrael, get their Maiev, get their Urel in position to flank onto these backliners. And, you know, could be a scary situation because you can push well with the objective if all the opposing heroes are dead. And that's what I think we'll see Team Wa go for, you know? Well, like a lot of people get out of it, have it tank the fort, and then just dive.
Michael's trick to how to play Volskaya. The objective is not that bad. If you kill everybody else before, then it's actually good.
Literally cosmic brain.
The IQ
this is why I was a pro, Khaldor, all right? Because I got these high-level strats.
The big insights right there. If you kill all of them, then you can do something with the objective. Talking about killing people, it seems like Cure might be in trouble. But yeah, he had the barrel roll active and is able to get out.
But experience, still about half a level lead for the side of Team Wa, as they have 81% on this first objective. Looks like Malfurion and Junkrat are going to be walking over to the turret camp. Ultralisk has fallen a bit low into that false set on the top side. Pants on this Leo taking a decent amount of damage. Both teams capping the turret as well as just, you know, equalizing this point, not allowing either team to get some points, as it looks like Masquerade, though, is actually going to be able to cap it, and that's going to be probably 99% or the first objective going the way of Team Wa.
Yeah, they got to move in now. Simplicity, that is. They got to make a play if they want to prevent the first protector. That's a 99%. So they're in the battle. Hands at the front is already eating some of the damage, soaking up some of the cooldowns here. The first turret gets dropped, and they're claiming it. It's level 9 versus 8. There it is. They're making a move straight down to the bot lane, as it seems. And this is actually a really good... this is a good example of how the meta on this map has changed quite a bit once that Blizzard decided that those fountains are bound to the fort. We're not seeing this immediate move to the top lane anymore, where you just try to prep for objective number 2. But they're getting value down here as they destroy the wall, and the rest of the team has now started to move topside, get a bit of damage connected there. Urel still in the middle. But again, the objective on this map, at least initially, not really doing all that much.
Yeah, and Leo with the drain, very good at clearing it up as well.
True,
you know,
true.
Team Wa didn't listen to me. They didn't kill them with the objective. You know, like, come on. How are you supposed to push if they're alive, you noobs? But Unstoppable gonna come out. Johanna going to kite, level 10, closely approaching for both teams. Simplicity now just getting it as we see Sank, Durant, you know, Ardent Defender, Rhaegar actually holding their ultimate. I would assume that's going to be a Ancestral. Potentially could be a Blessed Shield, though. But really, when I'm looking at Simplicity, I feel like they're going for these level 20s. Upgraded Gust, upgraded Falling Sword, upgraded Entomb. Lots of very powerful level 20s for them.
Yeah, another battle here, and they're making the move. That could also be the first play for Sanctification if they really need it. They're still holding it for another second. There's the Riptire. Still no Sank from Tyrael. Needs to drop it soon, and there it is. They're trying to force the battle against Malfurion again, who pops his Tranquility, but they're backing off at this moment in time. Everybody using items, and nobody dying. Everybody popping ults, but there's the Tether. Ultralisk, Marke, are still trying to go for the kill, but both of them have to fall back here.
Yeah, but everyone in the game using their ultimate there. All ults are going to be activated for that, you know, healing camp, but the XP is pretty much completely even here. So both teams going to be scaling into that late game, and that's really what I'm looking at of, Simplicity playing for that level 20 with their composition. I do think they're level, both teams have a pretty good level 20. I mean, Sanctification as well as Mephisto, both so powerful. It's really just going to depend on, in my opinion, how well can Pants hit these Entombs. Does Cure potentially get a gust for them? But yeah, we've still got a lot of game to play. There's still going to be 2 objectives activating before that level 20, and I think there's a lot of opportunities for Team WA to get a pretty big advantage before those level 20s are achieved.
Yeah, but it's definitely true that on 20 we're having some massive power spike for the red team. But first of all, they got to get to 20 because Leo is down. That's kill number 4. So again, a possibility to maybe push the top lane a bit further. Obviously, death timer is still very low, so Leo is going to be back in a second or 2.
Oh, Make.
Get saved here. Good route. Well done. Here comes the Riptire as they're trying to follow up and maybe even secure the kill. Not able to do that, but the wall is now getting destroyed, and we still have that Urel rotation at the side as Dequaza is once again proving that he has a PhD in PvE.
Me good experience, me good player, Hots 101. You like that one?
How do I describe Masquerade? Me get experience, me good player. I love it.
No, Masquerade would be me kill hero, me good experience, me good player. There'd be one extra step. Dequaza is me kill minion, me good experience, me good player.
Oh, specialist one tricks right there. That's your Zagara and the Zebo player. Look at my siege damage. I'm contributing.
I'm top XP. I'm best player,
Oh, brutal. Yeah, 13 on both sides now as we're going for the next fight to the top lane. 10 seconds until the second objective is up. And this is an important, I mean, again, we are talking about this obviously quite a bit, but right now, keep in mind, this is a pretty important match, especially for the blue team. If they lose this one, it means that it's match point for Team Simplicity, and that is something that you kind of want to avoid here. So if you come to win, the Europeans, they need to show up, and that means locking in a victory on Volskaya Foundry.
Yeah, as Madara is going to be able to start the cap here at Nagrum, looking to do a decent amount of damage onto Madara, really just trying to push him off the point, stop him from getting any more of the percent. But 12 still secured, small advantages. We'll take them, as it looks like Tyrael is going to be getting booped here a little bit, was able to get the sword off, so is going to be okay, as Make is going in to do some damage. The containment disc comes out as well onto the Johanna, has the unstoppable out of it though, so should be all right. And that's a 30-second cooldown, so that should be back up when the fight over this objective does end up happening.
Falset down at the bot lane could obviously use his global to try and come back in. Still fighting it out with the Quasar here. Cure obviously using the range damage as much as he can on this one. But as it stands, we also have 25 stacks for Jojo. Let's not forget about that. The Laws of Hope, quite important here for the self-sustain. The more of these globes you get, the better in the late game.
Yeah, I mean, really, I feel like both teams are just scaling into the late game as well as they can. Pants on this Leoric may potentially lose their life, but, you ever heard of the Leo trait? You ever had the Leo that just perma-feeds on your keep? Actually, Pants may survive here, though. I thought he surely was going to die. Trank activated, about 600 HP. But Pants is going to survive. But that's Trank, a pretty big cooldown actually used to keep Leo alive, and I don't really love that.
Surprised. I mean, if he dies, he's going to be back way faster than your cooldown.
Exactly. And now with the 16 advantage, we may see Team WA force this, with that Trank down, look to secure this top objective because they won't have Trank. I don't know if they'll look to fight with it. That's a 50-second, a pretty impactful, pretty important cooldown for them, especially into the likes of Mephisto doing so much AoE damage.
Yeah, a bit of a play here by Jojo at the top as they're going for the healing beacon, but the level 16 is now there. Dequaza has also secured the healing beacon. He has the item. If they want to make a play for the objective, they have to do it soon. Still 30 seconds until Malfurion has his ult back up. Masquerade at 50% HP, and Make obviously moving in time and time again with his Mephisto, sitting at 30,000 damage right now. Top damage in the game up to this point.
Yeah, level 16 achieved for both teams. We do see the Drain build so far on the Leo, so potentially the NA special could come out with that level 20 Drain talent. Just makes the Leo do a lot more damage, but I still feel like level 20 Entomb is so powerful, especially with the setup that you have with that Wind Tunnel. Cure going in here with the Gust, a beautiful one onto Make here, but he's going to be able to get into objective. Really well played by them, but Maska.
That is a kill! I feel he had a chance to at least try for Sanctification, and it seemed like he didn't even try. He dropped the item, but he wasn't interrupted on the Sanct.
And I mean, this is the objective going the side of Team Wa, but what did they get with it? They actually lost one hero, and this really shows why this map goes so late, because this objective is so weak as it is about to die. Containment Disc is going to go out here onto the Leoric. I mean, 5v4 potentially. Durance comes out. They want to kill Pants here using a lot of cooldowns for it.
They
really,
get him.
They just want the experience, right? They want to win the race to 20, and they get the kill.
Yeah, they get the kill, but talking about the race to 20, it's pretty much identical experience here. And if you look at the experience like gap, it's honestly the minion experience that is way better currently for the red team. Like, the difference is actually huge. In Heroes experience, there's a 2,000 experience point gap between Team Wa and Simplicity in favor of the Europeans, but that's negated directly by the minion XP. So the side lane soak is so much better from Forza in particular than what we're seeing from Team Wa. So that's why both of them are pretty much tied in XP.
Yeah, and that's the power of the global Cure. You know, we've mentioned Simplicity in the past, not getting very much value on their globals, but this game seems like, you know, they've been listening to Khaldor on the cast, and they're improving, getting better at that global, but level 20.
I should have shut my mouth.
Ah, yeah, you're helping out the NA players, Khaldor. I appreciate it, you know, Team NA.
Yeah, it's pretty much what we're seeing right now, and I'm not sure I like it, you know? So, well, at this point, they're going for the bot lane a little bit. 18 versus 18, 5 kills to 1, but they drop one of the items. They want the structures. They want the fight here too, and they go for Legacy, and there it is again. Malfurion dies. Great Ancestral on Marke, keeping him alive. He's still in trouble, but he's able to make his way out as Anaverter was trying to go for the kill. They're also making a play for Leo. Riptire not getting enough damage in. Marke continuously focused, but it's Simplicity that has to back off as Ultralisk was just looking to kill 2 of them.
Yeah, and a great flank from Dekwaza, but during all of that, we mentioned, you know, Team Walk keeps getting these kills, but Cure on the fall side in the top lane killed the Fjord. You see his HP so low, that's because he was just tanking the fort, securing the kill. So a fort for fort trade. I mean, if you're Team Simplicity, Madara though, maybe going a bit too aggressive here, falling very low, and this is not what you want to have happen. Nagram, Cure actually rolling in aggressively, thinking his team was here, but they're not. And Nagram survives. They're chaining deaths here. Is Unaverted going to be the next one to fall? Oh no.
There's the disc. Huge problem right now. Silence going to come out. They're making play for Pants. And here's the pushback. Unaverted in trouble. They surround him. And that is another follow-up kill. One staggered kill after another. The opportunity to push through the middle right now. They go for the keep, and they have to get it at this point.
Dude,
20 is there, and they have Sang. No, they don't. 10 seconds.
10 seconds. They'll have
10
it.
seconds.
Level 20 as well.
Do they make the call?
They going for it.
They go for it. The turret explosion has 5% on it. They're getting another kill. They're trying for passes. They're making the move here. Jungle going to be back in 7 seconds as they're moving in with the Holy Arena. Nogrom goes down. That's Rhaegar gone. But the core at 50%. No. They got the Sanctification still up and can use it here. Masquerade is clapping everybody up. They're moving in. 8%. And they're getting it.
1%. Oh,
that is a game. The win on the map for the Europeans. They tie the series again.
What a beautiful call from them, knowing we have Sank, we have level 20, we can end the game here. A lesser team, a less confident team would have not gone for the core there, just would have taken the keep and backed off, and that would have completely played into the win condition of Team Simplicity. They drafted completely for level 20, and honestly, I have to say, pretty sloppy play there from them at the end there.
That was unnecessary.
It was unnecessary. Your entire comp is around level 20. It's give up the fort. Who cares? Yeah. And I mean, Cure, a player I've been singing the praises of, going a bit too aggressive on that fort there, going for the roll Gus, wanted to kill into Nagram. Even if you kill him, it doesn't really do that much for you. Just play passive, hit level 20, and that's your win con.
We talked a bit about Wa making similar mistakes on Tomb of the Spider Queen when they were trying to save an Uther that didn't matter in the slightest, and right now we see the same thing. They lose the first, they lose the second, and they still keep fighting for no reason whatsoever. And at some point, Wa just looks at it and says, wait a second. We got Holy Arena.
Yes. Even
if they kill us, Tyrael takes another 5% off the core easy. We can go in and just roll this. Take the keep, take the core, and then win the game and tie the series again. And effectively now reducing it to a best of 3.
Yeah, and wow. I just, you know, I was harping on simplicity at the end there for feeding, but really, I cannot emphasize the decisiveness that came out by Wa at the end there, recognizing we can win here. Like a lot of teams have a little bit of indecision, and if they did, they would have not been able to actually end it there. So just really well played from them, and part of me feels like that's Masca on the Tyrael, knowing, I don't know, I wasn't in the comms, but Masca saying, I got sync! It's up at 10, it'll be up in time. And, I thought he barely wasn't going to be able to get it. He didn't really have that much mana. You saw him actually prioritizing a couple of globes there to secure enough mana to get that Holy Sanctification off, and wow, what a finish there.
Absolutely, and they exploited this cure. He went in for Rhaegar, he didn't get the kill, he risked everything, and it fell back on him. They killed him, and they snowballed it from there. We got another time in the series, guys. We're going to head into game number 5 after a short break for the players, so we'll be back in a few minutes, and then we're heading into Battlefield of Eternity, which is going to be the 5th map of this best of 7. I moved over to one and I said, okay, boys, I appreciate it. Not a 4-0, but at this point, we're done. Finish it. Don't make me sit here any longer. I've been shit-talking way too long about this. We need to secure this win here, so do me a favor and go. And I talked to Q a little bit too. I said, like, what are you doing? Do you want to win this or what? And he's just like, that's what kind of the plan. I was like, all right, see what you're doing. But yeah, so they've been doing well.
Yes.
Simplicity had them on the ropes a few times in this series. And if they pull ahead with the 3-1 that you just said, then all of a sudden you have match point after match point after match point. Now it's interesting to see what we're going to get. We have that Blaze first pick again, by the way.
Yeah, very interesting bans, though. 3 tanks taken out of the pool.
Yes.
I mean, Simplicity saying, you know what, we don't want Stitches, we don't want Tyrael, and that's part of why we see the Anub'arak picked up in the 1-2. They don't want to get Masca put into a massive tank choke. And Anub'arak, a great hero on this map, and also pairs very well with the Li Ming. Zeratul not banned for Team Wa. Part of that will be because Battlefield of Eternity, a very fast map, often will end level 16, level 17, or even earlier, and Zeratul really needs those later levels to scale.
And the good thing also here is that, of course, when you pick the Li Ming, she can't be counter-picked against the Anub'arak, so you get the full value out of you dropping the Cocoon, not this disintegrator, just blows it away, where you always win the cooldown trade. And we've seen already some of those Li Ming plays previously by Simplicity, so definitely paying attention here, and now coming in, picking both for themselves, can start poking down the Immortal, Ultralisk, he can hope for those resets. They banned the Chromie again. They don't want to go up against that poke. Yeah. Good choice here. I think that would have definitely been a big option for Madara. They didn't prioritize it highly enough to pick it earlier, so therefore they are now suffering the Chromie ban. But here comes also an Ana ban. If you go up against Li Ming, you don't want to have that Nano boost there too.
Well, and Nagram, actually, I think Ana is one of his better, if not his best support. I mean, we saw it in CCL a couple times. We've seen it in a couple other matches. He's a tank player that's been swapping over to support, and I feel like Ana is definitely one of his best. And it also creates another engage tool that Anub'arak can potentially, double stun off of. Li Ming can get a massive combo, as Ultralisk is a very strong Li Ming player. And the
old man.
I love to see myself some of the old man, some stay a while and listen. Let me read to you.
Yep, the Boomer's in the house, and we get Urel too. The Space Goat is back. Great success, of course, on the last map. And with Anub'arak, a great pairing. Always a really good combo. Can dive in, create a little bit of space here as well. That leaves Make with the last pick. They always can also swap around. I mean, Make is known as a Li Ming player too, so if Ultralisk wants something different here, he can definitely demand that now. Greymane, big Immortal damage here. Greymane and Hanzo, both of them picked up. Yeah, that is huge on the Immortal.
And the Wa chants start coming out. We got people in the crowd that wanted to win. And just like you mentioned, they pick up that Maiev for Ultralisk, and Make is able to flex onto that Li Ming. So both teams have a very strong composition here. Feel like Wa have a lot of kill pressure, a lot of pick potential. But for, Simplicity, that Hanzo, that Greymane, that Rhaegar, if they get a moment with just a brief 4v5 or, if Wa's out of position, that Immortal is going to burn.
You get that kill at the right moment in time, and you're just burning this thing down. You have it very, very quickly secured with a huge shield, and then you can try and push there. They also have with Johanna and Blaze a very good front line that has been played a lot. The Hardos in Europe did that a lot, so they came in over and over again because it gives you so much safety. This is a good comp for them. Battlefield of Eternity, map 5, really important here.
Yeah, and we're going to hop into the comms of Team Wa as we get started.
Do we cheese top bot?
I don't think we have good cheese though. They have better cheese.
Okay.
C'est où tu attends?
Maybe we can just put
C'est où ça?
Li Ming top
C'est où?
and Maiev Iwell bottom.
Dis-moi!
It's the reverse. What's so important, Ekwa? What are you doing?
Picture of a girl.
Yeah. Okay, it's a girl. Then it's fine. If it's girl, it's fine.
Big booty, big booty.
Let me see.
Booty the poke. It's Kia, bro.
What did you say, Maki?
No, I was like more respecting of your girlfriend, you know? Like I don't want to see another dude's girlfriend's butt, you know? Yeah. It's not a respect,
Wait,
you know?
our butt is super nice, man. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, dude. Would you share a butt picture of your girlfriend, Pascal?
I don't mind.
Okay.
I'm gonna share mine.
You're gonna share yours?
Yeah.
It depends.
My butt.
Your yeah. No, so Mayev, you're on top if they try to chase with Grim.
Well, here we go. Game on, everybody. Map number 5, the oh-so important map. Who pulls ahead here? Who gets the first match point today? On the right side,
we've got
Team
my
North
NA
America.
brother, and we've got Madara rocking around on the playing the Hanzo, Legacy on the Rhaegar, Unaverted playing the Johanna, Cure on the Greymane, and Blaze being played by Fancy Pants.
On the left side, it is the European team with Ultralisk on Maiev, Masquerade on Anubarak. Dequaza, of course, on the URL once more, whereas Make has switched over into playing Li Ming. And the old man, Nagrom, with a Deckard Pain.
Deckard Pain, I like that, you know? Is able to
hit him with a stick, baby. Hit him with a stick.
Give him that level 16 smackdown, pop! But, yeah, I mean, a lot of dive here for the side of Team Wa, the Maiev, the URL, the Anubarak. Oh, speaking of, Ultralisk and the Root combo! Sheesh, they got it, baby!
Cure who? Greymane dead immediately.
After that, people are like, I was going to vote Cure for MVP, but he just got smacked up.
Yeah, that was quick. And that also showcases again how powerful it can be if you have that lockdown from Deckard Cain comboed off with a tether on Maiev. And they're going to try and repeat that time and time again in the big fights.
Yeah, as it looks like, you know, both teams. I mean, Cure ends up opting off that death to rotate top from Fog. Just going to be starting this siege camp up directly right away. You know, looks like they're probably just going to opt into the trade. Dequaza sniffing this out, sees that Cure is on it, but I don't think he's going to be able to contest. That is going to be a 2v1. If he is able to buy time, though, you see Masquerade on the Anubarak in the middle of the map.
They're realizing it, too.
Yeah, could look to come on over. I don't know if Dequaza is going to lose too much HP. Masquerade, though, almost there, and you see Maiev and Li Ming coming also.
Yes, this could get dicey. They sacrificed Dequaza, I think. Can he stay alive? Cure's body block him. He gets out. They take the camp. They steal it, and they go for Cure, too. There could be another kill. Ultralisk is slowed. Is he going to follow up? 10 HP. Oh, Cure. Cutting it a little bit too close for comfort here.
And after that survive, you're back to giving him the MVP vote. You know, it's like just the back and forth, the pendulum.
Is that how it works?
But after that, Madara and Legacy on the bot side do get a tower of their own. So, you know, they lose the bot siege camp, lose that little bit of experience, and they're actually going to lose the top tower in trade as well. So these early game rotations definitely going in favor of Team Wa.
Yeah, Ultralisk, you know, he's going for the all-out aggression here. His Tinder game is on point. He has a hot date later on, and he wants to finish this quickly. Up at the top, he's already looking for the next target. Going to make a play for Unaverted here, maybe. The level 4 talents have kicked in. Bed of Barbs for Anubara and the traditional Triumvirate for Li Ming after initially picking up Ether Walk.
As it looks like, you know, Dequaza in here just clearing out the wave. Both teams going to rotate over to their bruiser camp. Pretty standard at the start of this map, around 2 minutes and 30 seconds. You almost always want to make sure you're on time to hit this bruiser camp, as it will provide a lot of pressure during this first objective phase. But Ultralisk actually is low on HP and low on mana, so is most likely going to need to back. So, or maybe he's got to tap. Okay, he's got to tap. He's going to be okay to just tap up and walk back into this, as it looks like Simplicity is opting to maybe go for pressure on the top side.
Yeah, Dequaza hoping to get a connect here. Didn't so far. Unaverted moving in at the side here. Nagrom needs to be careful. He doesn't have the mobility. Needs to stay a little bit farther back, but they're making a play for the Immortal. Great zone, big one. Deckard Cain, Ultralisk with a kill. Going for Hanzo and taking the hipster down quickly. Nicely done. And that, of course, opens up a few opportunities on the objective.
That's a lot of immortal damage, too. They burst that down the halftime very quickly, and they also cleared out the top camp here. So you see Simplicity forced to clear out this bottom camp, and they're in a 4v5 situation as well. So looks like Team Wa is just going to opt into finishing as fast as they can. Unaverted on the Johanna coming in and looking to blind them out, just slow their race a little bit. And I mean, this is the power of the Greymane and the Hanzo. Even though they were down a hero, had to clear bottom, still able to clear, you know, about half of the shield of the Immortal. So even though it's going to be a pretty powerful one, shouldn't be able to take the fort unless we see Ultralisk continue to get some aggression, continue to get some big pulls with the Anubrak follow-up, with the Deckard follow-up. If they get a couple kills, this could be a very scary situation.
Ultralisk heard you earlier. You were talking about Cure as a potential MVP, and Ultralisk like, hold my beer. So he's not even allowed to drink here.
I was about to say, in Germany, though, he can.
Yeah, of course. No, but still, he comes in as a silent killer here, and he's been doing solid work in the early game. Once again, it's Deckard Cain as they're setting it up. They want another kill. Mother on the chair, the stun, and Hanzo is dead again. Stick that bow where the sun doesn't shine. Greymane dead too. 4 kills to 0. The push continues, and they are on a hunt.
Yeah, Unaverted looks like it's the next in their sights. Quaza with some B steps, and that is going to be a 3rd hero falling. Wow, this Battlefield of Eternity is going not well for the side of Simplicity, and this may be top fort falling next. 2 forts after the first objective 5 minutes into this game. This is not how you wanted your early game to go for the side of Team Wa.
I mean, I've been telling you, Ultralisk, he wants to end this. He's been swiping right. He has a hot date later. It's like, boys, it's getting late. We need to go here. So Ultralisk with play after play as they are just driving these fights. And this is even before level 10 when Anubrak is going to have Cocoon, when they can go for even harder engages. And Deckard Cain just complements this play so well.
The roots have been massive. Nagram consistently hitting those 3-mans. And, you know, we haven't seen it yet in this series, but the first time seeing the old man, and it is to, you know, peak success, especially paired with the Anubrak, paired with the Maiev. Just so much CC that they're, you know, you only have 1 cleanse. If 3 people get pulled, 3 people get rooted, you can only cleanse 1 of them.
Yeah, Deckard Cain, we haven't seen him in a while. He's been isolating. He's been staying away from everybody. A high-risk group for sure, but now he's back, and he's saying, all right, boys, let's go. Let's make the plays here. With the Anubrak diving in, him following up, there's just so much potential for the damage. Masquerade still slacking a little bit on the spray game, but his connects have been absolutely on point here. And they're so close to level 10 now. Once that hits, Simplicity needs to fall back a little bit. They cannot be here when level 10 is available for the blue team.
Yeah, and we see Dequaza looking to clear another bot wave. It's pretty massive down here. Could just see Dequaza pressure by himself. The 1-4 split could maybe get top 4 as well as some pressure on the bot wall, and that is going to be level 10 achieved for Team Wall. And you see Ultralisk just waiting in the flanks. Dequaza as well, maybe going to look for the jump over the wall, just going to jump onto Unaverted, and you know, we'll take the fort. Yeah. You know, we'll take it, I guess.
They push them back, and thankfully Simplicity doesn't try to fight this. They just can't. You can poke them a little bit, try and slow them down, but you cannot give them an opening here. They try for the quick, sneaky kill, though, with Greymane, and I like the confidence, I gotta say. So nice that they're looking for an opportunity, but now they just have to wait it out and soak that half level before they can really compete in a team fight.
They don't have 10. This seems like a gifted Brewster camp to the side of Team Wa as Dequaza and Masquerade walk in and say, thank you so much. I mean, you did most of the damage, but we'll take all the profit as Unaverted here. Going to be forced to use the Unstoppable. But I guess, you know, even though the camp gets taken, does buy a little bit of time. Simplicity really needs to hit level 10. Otherwise, this is going to be a full HP Immortal going the way of Team Wa, and I don't know if they'll be able to bring it back from that momentum for the side of Team Wa.
Yeah, currently the Europeans are trying to make this a speed run. I mean, they're turning this into a farming simulator. It's a little bit similar to what we saw in the first Momentum with Spider Queen, to be fair. If you can never fight on even talents, you're always just a step behind. It's really tricky to recover. Now, this is too soon to call. But they are Simplicity they're facing the same problem that Team Wa faced in the first game. And it didn't go well for the Europeans back then. Now the North American team has to somehow find that kill that brings them back into the game and delivers a bit of momentum into their hands.
Definitely. I mean, the saving grace for them is that the Hanzo, the Greymane, do so much damage to the Immortal. So they had a brief opportunity there as it swapped sides to, you know, take down about 70% of the shields. As Ultralisk here, though, you see Dequaza as well flanking from the top side. They got the double flank. The cage coming out. Pants drops the bunker. Can they survive, though? Actually, Ultralisk falling very low. A massive stay a while from Listen as Cure is in a very scary situation. Gets into the bunker here. Is he going to be able to escape? I don't feel like he is. Oh, does he get the kill, though? No! As Ultralisk hits the massive cage, and that's 2 heroes falling for Simplicity and potentially the keep as well.
Beautiful play. Deckard Cain coming in, stay a while, and get wrecked. And they get 2 kills of it. Cure trying to go for the counter kill. He couldn't get it. Now they make the play for keep. A 5 versus 3 situation. Death timers are low. Rhaegar already back to business. I don't think they can get the keep here. It's just too early in the game. It's not even 10 minutes in, but boy, did they do work.
Yeah, and during all of this, they've got their bruiser camp pushing onto the bot wall. So this means the next Immortal for the side of Team Wa is almost guaranteed to get a keep. They have no walls on either side, unless they lose a lot of heroes to a wipe, then potentially they could. But if Team Wa gets another Immortal, that should be a keep 100% going their way. And way this is going XP-wise, they may have level 16 tier for that as well.
Yeah, 7 kills to 0, 2 levels ahead. The level 13 talent, constant pressure on the map now. Catapults, of course, also going to start to play a role very, very soon here. And they are really in the face of Simplicity. They are controlling the map as best they can. Vision-wise, this is horrible for Simplicity too. They have like no clue what's going on the map right now. They can't move out either. And here comes Dequaza again. They try for Cure, the stun, the follow-up, and another ult from Deckard Cain in an attempt to lock Johanna down. 8 kills to 0. Oh, God, they really, really want to crush them early, don't they?
Yeah, speaking of that fog, Maska just waiting in that bush. Kier did not expect him to be there. Steps up a little bit too aggressive for the auto attack and loses their life for it. As Unaverted here, a little unfit, just trying to clear this up, forced to use the Unstoppable, and Kier has now spawned. So we're back to the 5v5, but level 13 is still in favor of Team Wa, and Simplicity doesn't have it. So this could be another Immortal going the way of Wa. I kind of feel like if you're Simplicity, I don't know if you can give up another Immortal. I don't know if you can, take another situation where you have Wa set up for a perfect engage and push, but maybe they can just give the halftime, go for 13, and then take a fight there.
The good news is it's 10 minutes in, they haven't scaled this heavily into the late game yet. Jojo, by the way, top damage for the red team.
Ooh.
Like, nearly matching Li Ming, too. So Dequaza sitting at the side here, jumping in. They want to make the play for Blaze, and he has to bunker it up quickly. The ult already baited out here, but they're fighting. They don't have level 13. It's going to hit soon, but currently they're still trying to hold the position without having access to the next talent. 50% is gone. The halftime show has started, and Simplicity is fighting to stay in this game.
Yeah, playing so aggressive. You see Cure so far up here as Masquerade and Dequaza both just set up on the flank. Madara not knowing there's a Yrel, just waiting to jump on them as Masquerade may look to follow up Ultralist as well. Dequaza been in this flank position for quite a while. Madara still has no idea. Level 13 very closely approaching, and the stay a while and listen comes out. Not able to connect on that much. Dequaza, Ultralist actually falling low here, Khaldor, as the fight. This could be what they need.
Ultralist, he's nearly down, but he survives again, and here comes Dequaza jumping in the ancestral healing. It's Greymane as he's trying to go for the go. Dinner has been served, but Dequaza is jumping out once again. And the problem here is Li Ming. Li Ming can just now fire away combo after combo against the Immortal, and what is Simplicity to do? Either you eat the damage with the Immortal or you just put the hero in the path, but then the kills could follow up soon. Here comes another Immortal, another objective for the blue team. And they're only half level 8 from 13. Here comes a play for the camp, and it's another free one, isn't it?
I don't know about this for Wa, though. This seems like kind of the only opportunity. If they're able to get a one-shot, could be good, but 16 closely approaching, don't have their Immortal yet, as Maska doesn't have a burrow charge, could get blown up here. If they're able to get this kill, this could stop the push, and that's just what Team Simplicity needed to maybe hold on, to maybe survive. Oh, Ultralist, though, going in. Legacy on the Rhaegar. Massive from Pants, though.
Another kill maybe here against Ultralist. Bot lane, by the way, the keep is getting attacked at the top. The same is happening. They lost their front line, but they're still keeping them at the top as bot lane, more catapults are now coming in. And the keep topside should be saved. They're getting it, but they move to the bot lane now. They rotated away from the Immortal, try to get more damage in here, but with Masquerade dying, that was definitely an issue. They went for the camp half a level before 16 was available to them. It was a risk, and it backfired against them, so they didn't get as much out of the Immortal as they were hoping for, but both of the keeps are damaged, and the talent advantage is now finally there for the blue team.
Yeah, and I mean, if they get a kill there, I'm a little nitpicky. If Team Wa gets a kill there, they are in a situation to potentially end the game, not just get a keep. So,
absolutely.
Like, that's part of the aggression. Sometimes you look for plays, sometimes you don't get them, but speaking of plays, Unaverted here, able to juke out of the root, able to survive. But yeah, I just think if Wa played it a little more patiently with their Immortal, potentially could have at least 100% secured a keep for themselves and maybe get a 16 and an opportunity to end, as we are one level away from 16 for Simplicity. Dequaza on the flank here. Ultralist doing it again. It's massive.
Oh, the kill Greymane is down. A good Ancestral initially, but here's the kill against Greymane. They're Cocoon on Blaze. They're making the play for Uninverted Legacy. They keep still firing, but another minion wave pushing in. So is the camp, and they're about to take it down. Keep number 1 is gone. They get the kill, they get the keep, and they back off towards the top lane.
And I bet you they get another one here as they're walking towards this top keep. It is very low, but expect a Dayquaza potentially tank as he does have that Ardent Defender. Li Ming just throwing spells. Dayquaza zoning out as they can secure the keep. Still has the Ardent Defender, so it's kind of okay here. Forced to use it though. 120-second cooldown, so that is something to note. The objective is coming up in about 10 seconds, and Yrel is now a kill target for this next team fight.
14 minutes in though, so catapults are starting to become an issue. Not a single fort has been taken out on the blue team side, which means every single wave for Team WA spawns a catapult, and there is no counter catapult pressure. The longer these fights last in the middle of the map now, the better for Team WA. The core is eventually going to be under pressure, but at least Simplicity is closing on level 16. Yeah. That's the light at the end of the tunnel for them. Try and force a fight with this. It's going to be a tough game no matter what, but if they can at least get these even team fights and maybe get a few kills, there is a way to reclaim a position in this game.
Yeah, it's a hard spot to come back from, but it is going to be a 16-16 team fight, so it's possible. This game is not over. We saw Simplicity, potentially make a close comeback earlier. Weren't able to finish it off, but this could be the map where they are able to make it, as Dayquaza, again in the flank, doesn't have Ardent Defender, needs to be careful here, actually gets stunned, and that is a massive overextension by Dayquaza. That is, the Hanzo arrow! Can they get Make as well? Cure rolling forward, going for it, not going to be able to get it, and that's Cocoon going out, and this is an opportunity for life to be breathed back into the team of Simplicity.
6 save on Make though, that they were able to keep Li Ming safe, that was huge. Camp at the bottom of the map now, but of course this is the opportunity to get the Immortal and then roll with the objective. They still have to defend the bot lane, that's going to be a given, but this is the first Immortal in the hands of Simplicity. You called it earlier, Yrel, she did use the ult at the top to survive, and she didn't have it ready in that situation, and then he's too far out, jumps out, doesn't see Blaze, the stun connects, and that is the end of the side laner. The second kill for Simplicity, and the big opportunity now to finally do a bit of damage.
Yeah, but you need a lot here. You can't just get a fort, you need some kills, maybe a double fort. You need to get something here if you're Simplicity. You're still so far behind. You're down a level. You're down all of your structures. You need to get some kills as you see Blaze rotating in, maybe looking for a flank here. Pants needs to potentially get something if possible, as this keep is this fort is surely going to fall. But can Simplicity get anything else? And it looks like they're just going to go for the top fort. So this, I don't hate this call, looking to open up the map, but Team WA reading it perfectly. Yeah. They're saying, no way we're giving you a free fort. Not on our watch.
Yeah, Masquerade needs to be careful here on the rotation that he doesn't get caught, but it's all fine for them for now. Li Ming is also here. 18 and a half, 1.5 levels, 220. 40,000 damage for Hanzo, 41,000 for Li Ming. And they hold on to the top fort as Li Ming is back on the bot lane, trying to eliminate those waves, soak up the experience, get them closer to the Storm talents, and then potentially, of course, win another objective and maybe even the game.
Yeah, I'd like to see Simplicity continue the aggression. Look at Madara mounted up, looking for an arrow opportunity. He knows he needs another potential kill, maybe looking for that Deckard, as Maska coming in for the Cocoon, gets it onto that idle target, onto the Rhaegar. Can they get him out? No. Cure dies before Ancestral is available, and now Legacy and Simplicity is fighting for their life.
Oh, the Ancestral! Good one. Nicely done by Rhaegar. Unaverted is still alive. Ultralisk is trying to chase for a moment. It's a 5 versus 4, and they are half a level away from 20. They can play this slow. They can play this safe now. Do they make a play for the Bruiser camp? Despite the fact that they don't have 20 yet, it seems like they do. How is Simplicity going to respond to it? Are they taking the fight even though they are a player down? They don't. Unaverted moves back. They know what's going on, but they sacrifice the camp, allow it to be taken. More experience for the blue team, and the objective has just been called out.
Yeah, they're opting to take for the talent tier down fight. If you're Simplicity, you cannot give up this objective. You have to go for a fight even though the opponent has 20, and it's going to be a massive mountain to climb. I don't know if they'll be able to do it, but it is your only shot. And we see, it was so close there from Masquerade with the flank, hitting the perfect Cocoon onto the Rhaegar, neutralizing that Ancestral, which is such an important cooldown for Cure on this Greymane to be able to survive.
Camp at the bot lane, 1 minion wave taken out. The core, of course, opened up already. 18 minutes in, catapults are going to hurt once that they're hitting, and they make a play for the objective. They also see unaverted here. The tether negated by the Iron Skin. Cure is coming in too, trying to help them out. The double wolf team is making some moves, but we have the blue team collapsing onto the Immortal, trying to take it down to the 50%. Pants with the flank attempt, gets stunned, needs to be careful here. They're starting to zone the back a little bit. Deckard Kane, old just yet, here comes at least the Cocoon already, and they're trying to get into a good position. But Simplicity, they're playing aggressive. No 20, no problem. They're making moves.
Hanzo arrows, big though! No Blessed Shield to follow up, as the Stay a While and Listen is going to connect onto the Rhaegar, as well as the Bunker. Ooh. The Immortal follow-up unaverted is going to die. Not in range for the Ancestral. If you're Simplicity, you still have to go for this fight. You still have to turn it around.
Madara, no, he gets cleaved to death. At least Deckard Kane is down. The big bad wolf came in and took him, but it's still a 4 versus 3. The objective attacked, and there's catapults on the corner. The shield is already falling. Someone needs to head back and defend, and it's Cure doing the job here. The core taking damage down to 99% already.
To defend the Immortal, though.
They gotta do something about this objective, but it's a 4 versus 3.
Yeah, and I love this play from Team Wa, recognizing, all right, we can just tap up. We're not in a massive hurry. We're able to play this a little bit still. We're going to continue to have Cata pressure on the top, continue to have Cata pressure on the bottom, and it looks like Simplicity is just going to opt for the trade, just going to opt to race as much as they can. And Masquerade walking over here does have the Cocoon. Is just going to throw it out for Cure. I like this. Just saying, you know what? I'm going to stop you from getting as much damage as you can onto this Immortal. And it looks like Simplicity is going to look for the defense of a lifetime on their Immortal. They need a massive Dragon Arrow here. They need to get in engaged, because if this Immortal hits to their core and Team Wa still has heroes alive, it is surely going to be game over.
And they need to start the fight early. They definitely have to. 12 kills, 2-3, level 20 any moment now for Simplicity. That at least brings them back into the game here. And they have their Storm talents. But here comes the push. They don't have a keep any longer. The core has already taken a tiny bit of damage. They meet it early. They move out. Here, of course, we have Team Wa. Can they make the play? Unaverted already taking a huge amount of damage. Iron Skin is out. He might be in trouble, though.
Oh, yeah, maybe used to yield Blessed Shield. No Ancestral for 8 seconds, though. Unaverted, forcing his Blessed Shield to try and kite. And the Warden's Cage, it's massive. The bunker comes down, but it dies before Cure can get in.
The Ancestral, but it's Jojo that dies first. Blaze dies too. 5 versus 3. The front line gone. The Immortal chunking down the shields. They're trying to get kills. It's not working out. Rhaegar is dead. Greymane, Force, Madara, the only survivors. The core chunks down the core. Spray game is there. Cocoon gets dropped, and a 5-man team wipe to end game number 5. The dance is there. Deckard Kane hitting him with a stick, and Madara actually never dies, but this core is gone. The lead for the first time in the grand final for Team Wa.
Yeah, and they are hyped up as they're winning that team fight. You hear multiple players screaming for the side of Team Wa at this LAN center. They want it. They're upset with the fact that they dropped 2 games in this series. They want that 4-2. And honestly, what a decisive victory from them that entire game. I didn't feel like, there was one moment where they maybe brought it back for Simplicity, but all their buildings were dead, right? Yeah. It's just such a hard opportunity to come back from. And Cure on the Greymane with 7 deaths. A very hard game for him, but just a bit overextended, and just would continually get rooted by the Maiev. The follow-up route from the Deckard, just such a difficult game for him.
Deckard Kane was such a great pick for them. That jived so well with their composition that they had here, and it's just time and time again. The cage, the tether, the stuns from Manuburak, Deckard Kane coming in, then with the 20 in particular. Fantastic plays. And, well, while we're talking about Ultralisk again, he's making big moves to get the MVP award from you guys, because, as we mentioned before, the MVP award is up. If you head over to Twitter, NLG Miami, we have the MVP vote up. One of those players is going to walk away with the MVP award. We had a pre-selection, big nominations going on. The final 4 are up for a vote, so you can decide who's it going to be. Ultralisk is in there. So is Cure. He's struggling in this game, but maybe he makes up for it in the next one.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, his Zeratul been pretty much banned out the whole series. True. So, one of his best heroes. But Ultralisk, I mean, we saw Simplicity throw respect onto his Maiev, and I think you just showed why.
Yes.
You do not want to go up against that man's Maiev. And I'll be curious to see in this next map, do we see Simplicity go back to that 1-2 Maiev rotation? Do we see them potentially ban away that Maiev? Because it felt so powerful for the side of Ultralisk here.
Also, I feel like quite a few of the maps that we're now getting are right in the zone of European team. It's like every time we had the map map pick now for North America. They went in with Alderac Pass. They came out exactly with Volskaya. Now what's left? We have Infernal Shrines coming up. You got Dragonshire for good rotations. So it's going to be spicy. But it's a 3-2 lead now. So
yeah, it's a close match. And I'll be curious to see, does Simplicity opt for the first pick? Do they opt for the map pick? Because what do we have? We have Sky Temple, Infernal, and D-Shire. Is that it? Ah, I missed that one.
Yeah, me too. Cursed Hollow is still up.
Ooh, because we watched them play on Curse Hollow earlier. So I just in my head assumed that it was gone.
We had a lot of Simplicity games.
Yeah, but we're going to get a rematch between these two teams on Curse Hollow. I will say in the series earlier, this was the closest game for Simplicity against Team Wah. This was the only one where they had a chance, an opportunity to win in that first series.
It's first pick, first ban, though, for the American team. For the map choice for Team Wah.
Okay.
I don't know.
So it's first pick for Team Simplicity.
I have no idea why that was so hard.
Dude, it's hard sometimes. We've been casting all day. We've been doing nothing but talking. There's been so many games going on. I get it. I forgot. I was literally talking about Blaze for like a minute and a half, and then at the end of my thought, I forgot the hero name. It's like sometimes that's the life of a caster.
I looked at the first draft and it was like Team 2, and then in my head I was like left, right, 1, 2, and I was like I can't anymore. So yes. Map choice this time by the Europeans. That's what I was about to say. Because the last time that we saw the map in between these two teams was in the winner bracket final. And back then it was actually the North American team that chose it. So now the Europeans are saying all right, this is a map that we are really confident with and we want to play it here again. And yeah, the draft is going to mean a lot here.
Yeah.
This is also a draft where you can always throw a bit of a curveball. We've talked about a lot of the options with the two bosses up. It's one of my favorites.
Definitely. And one thing to know is...
It's a great last map.
Oh, it is such a good map. I mean, the curses, the bosses, we've already seen some close moment. Dude, I love Curse Hollow. It's a fun one. I don't think
you heard what I said.
Oh, you mean for EU to win? Is that what you're saying?
I literally said it's a great last map. You're like, that's right.
Whatever. I just was, in my head thought next map. It's not over till the fat lady sings, right?
It's okay.
I love Curse Hollow. I'm an Illidan player. This is an Illidan map. Not that we're going to see it in the series.
How cool would that be, though?
Oh, that would be sick. That would be so sick. Like an ABBA Illidan comp or something. But, one thing to know is in the last game, we saw in the first 2 rotation, we saw that Tyrael taken away, right? I don't think BOE is necessarily the best Tyrael ban or map. I think maybe they should have gone for a 3rd rotation on that and maybe take away the Maiev there instead. Because the Nubrak was still up, and the Noob Gleaming was such a strong one, too. So I'll be curious to see what this second ban is for Simplicity. Do they take away the Maiev? Is there a Sylvanas they're more scared about? Or do they just opt into getting rid of Tyrael again?
I feel they have to get rid of Tyrael on the 3rd at least.
Yeah, I think in the 3rd it's a good spot. But if they pick Tyrael on the 1-2, I don't know. I feel like you can pick counters around it because you still have 4 heroes left, and they do opt for the Maiev. I feel like they should have done this last game. Yeah. I think on this game, this is the right move as well.
Yes, Ultralisk is not going to get Maiev again this series. If we're going to go to map 7, it's not going to happen.
When we go to a map 7.
Keep dreaming. Diablo gets banned too. I told you, we give you hope and then we take it away. It's over. Like 4-2, we talked about it. Like we scripted this perfectly at the beginning, guys. So
for the fans,
for the fans, for you guys out there, a few additional games. All jokes aside now. First pick again, Blaze. Yes, of course. It wasn't even a question, really.
Yep.
What is happening in the 1-2 rotation, on the other hand, for Team Wah? That's the bigger one now, because we expect that, if possible, they will take Tyrael, but do they take him this early? Since if you get the Sanctification in these big fights, they go for the False Set right away, they go for Rhaegar. I think the 3rd ban has to be Tyrael, but we'll see.
No, I agree with you. I think the Tyrael needs to get taken away. And I was wondering which global they would prioritize. Falstad, Dahaka. They do opt for the Falstad because the Blaze has been picked by Simplicity, right? So Dahaka is potentially a ban you can force from the side of Simplicity. They're now in a spot of, do you give us Tyrael? Do you give us Dahaka? Because they're not going to pick Dahaka with their Blaze as well. So I like this rotation from the side of Team Wah, setting themselves up for a really strong team fight comp or for a double global composition.
Yeah, here comes Sylvanas, and they have Lucio. Another ban could obviously also be Urel. Maybe they're worried about the side lane and that, and Urel has been heavily impactful whenever they Quasar got her.
Yeah. I just feel like Urel's a little bit weaker on this map. Urel's very strong at the double soak.
The global is awesome, no doubt. And if you get a double global, I mean...
It's very powerful.
They could go full macro on them and say, screw the team fights.
But for Team Wah here, what are you taking away? Either a tank or a damage Tracer. Yeah, don't want to deal with Cure's Tracer. a hero he's very strong on as well. And they do have the squishy Falstad that wants to play in the global. And if you have a Tracer, it just really mitigates how much value that Falstad can actually get. But this is where I'm wondering, for simplicity, do you take away Dahaka? Do you take away Tyrael?
Tyrael. Yeah, I like it. If you have Tyrael in Falstad, they're going to take every single boss fight that they can take.
True.
So yeah, Tyrael had to be the ban here. He's just so good on Cursed Hollow. I don't think that comes as a surprise. Are we going to see another dive? Are they going to go again into something? They could literally go for a similar frontline that they did on the last map. What are we going to get for Masquerade here? Also, Jojo is still up. Joanna's also up.
Okay.
But here's the Anubarak, and we get Hanzo together with it.
Yeah, the JoJo priority has just absolutely dropped like a rock this tournament, especially in the finals. And this is what we were talking about, earlier. We've reiterated, especially Khaldor, of like the meta in these tournaments completely changes and evolves, right? The bans that we see at the start compared to the end completely changes because a lot of teams come in prepared with a certain strategy, but you don't know how well it actually matches up until you see someone else. And Khaldor, I'll let you talk about this one.
The ETC main tank pick.
Yeah.
Ooh. That is quite the confidence there. I mean, don't get me wrong. ETC, if you have a really good ETC player, you can murder a team. But he is so squishy, and he can be just crushed. If he makes the wrong move and your opponent is good, you die in a second. So that is quite the pick here.
Yeah. And it looks... one thing to know is just that they have a lot of CC for the side of Simplicity if they do get that ETC, into the oil, into the boop, the Leeming follow-up, the Sylvanas follow-up. But for the side of Team One, I mean, you have the Masquerade on a Nubarak that can potentially interrupt that. You have the Gus that can interrupt that. But yeah, I'm excited for this, game, and I'm hoping it's not the last one of the series.
Show me what you got. Guys, we're heading into the game, and we're also going to listen to the players as we're loading into it, so we'll see you on Cursed Hollow.
They're gonna like split push, all that stuff.
I mean, we have Sylv. We should be dictating the pace of the game.
Thing is, a new Rhaegar out pushes Sylv Lucio, right?
But they don't have a pusher with them. Like Falstad is the best. Like
that's true. So like, how do we want to? Do we want to cheese level 1?
Yeah, I think we're Sylv's hitting a wall, and I'm watching the rotation.
What about like 2-on-2? Like you and Lucio go push top wall, and then like I throw spells at bot wall while ETC watches for me.
And then Blaze mid?
And then Blaze just soaks mid, and then eventually go do camp.
The thing with me is I'm not actually like hitting.
Yeah. Either is ETC. Like it's just still hitting and me hitting, and then you guys are there to anchor for us and escort us, and maybe brawl with us if it looks okay. Yeah, I think we do that like that because they're probably gonna over rotate to one of the lanes. The other lane gets value, right?
Yeah. Maybe you guys don't show for a second.
Here on the red and the right, we got our boys, the NA Hope. Copium down 3-2 in this series, need to even up the score and then win one more match to win it all. We've got Madara playing the Sylvanas, Legacy on the Lucio, ETC being played by Unaverted, Leeming being played by Cure, and Fancy Pants going to be on that Blaze.
On the right side of the map, 3-2 lead in the best of 7. They need one more map win to crown themselves the champion of the tournament. We have Team with Dequaza on Hogger, Ultralisk playing Hanzo, Masquerade on Anubarak, Mako on Falstad, and Nagrom on Rhaegar.
Yeah, and it looks like
Blackheart's favorite support.
I was just saying, they're Sylv pressuring top a little bit. I'm sure Leeming got a little bit of damage onto the towers. So, min-maxing, any little damage that you can get is good. Damage on towers is permanent, but yeah, very slight lead in structures.
We've talked a little bit in the loading screen about ETC as a pick, and I gotta say, I love how Unaverted played this tournament, especially considering he role swapped. He had some fantastic games, especially his Diablo performance on Towers of Doom comes to mind for me. Legacy at the top, by the way, barely skating out of this. But picking ETC here, that requires quite a bit of confidence. So this could be the biggest pick that they made this tournament, or it could backfire horribly and they're just getting farmed this time. He needs to play nearly perfect here in order to make this work. If he does, it's going to be scary.
Yeah, and I like the confidence, like you mentioned. I mean, off-rolling this tournament and has the confidence to say, you know what, give me the ETC. And maybe Team Wall haven't practiced. I mean, these are the caliber of players where they've played against ETC a lot in their career. But, maybe recently they haven't had the most practice on it. But one thing to know is Team Wall has a lot of PvE pressure on this map, right? If they ever get one pick opportunity, they got Hogger, they got Hanzo, they got Rhaegar. they can absolutely burn bosses. They can absolutely burn siege camps and bruisers. And you see right now, Rhaegar soloing the siege, Hogger soloing the bruiser, and they do both of them before the side of Simplicity is even able to finish up their hard camp.
Level 3 for both of them. Camps are being taken. First objective is going to spawn top side. That's where we have the first tribute, meaning the bottom right siege giant camp is going to be quite important. Now, you've been talking a bit about the interrupts that we have on ETC. Is there a chance you go stage dive as a main tank?
Maybe. The issue with it is I just think you want him frontlining for your team.
Yes.
You want him stunning. So he could go stage dive, but I think you just go for mosh pit. You have the threat of it. You also have the helping hand. So Legacy could make some massive plays, hit the cleanse on potentially a Gus, potentially an Anubrak stun to keep that mosh pit going. And I think mosh may not get the most value, but it's more that you want your ETC standing in front of your Leeming, in front of your Sylvanas. Exactly. Like you don't want him splitting, you want Blaze splitting. Yeah,
you want the threat of it, and you want to also force the opponent to hold some of their stuns back so that if the Mosh starts to connect, they try and interrupt it. Madara now going for the can, as mentioned before. Tribute is spawning in 23, so he needs to take it quickly so that they have some bot lane pressure. Now, obviously, Falstead, he can always then fly down after they fight or even take the position earlier and then fly up. Having a global on this map is incredibly impactful for the way you can play the map itself. But here comes the first spawn. No team is close to level 7, so that's not going to play a role in this one. We got, Hogger at the bot lane and Falstead chilling in the middle.
Every time we've watched Simplicity play this map, I swear they get the best trib spawn. They're always on the right side. They always get their siege giants out, and the trib is always right here. The question is, will they actually be able to get value with it this time, as Sylvanas is opting to stay in the bot lane and looking to press, using to look those black arrows to get pressure with the siege. And the Lucio, Leeming, ETC have a lot of stall. So if they play this well, they could potentially get some sort of a level lead.
Yeah, this could last for a long time here. The early level 7 also for Simplicity. And again, guys, keep in mind, if they lose, then this is second place for them. They need to win this one to go the full distance and force the final map of the series. Level 7 talents kicking in. Dequaza trying to defeat the bot lane push. Sylvanas is hoping, of course, to escort those siege giants in even deeper. Here comes the engage. And Nubarak is in a bit of a pickle here. Yeah, is able to get out. But they go for Cure. And they murder him.
Sylvanas
solo by Dequaza. Oh my god.
Stylen.
Not like this.
Very well played from Dequaza on the bot lane. I mean, Cure getting blown up. Very good target from Team Wa as well. But Dequaza getting the solo kill. And, I mean, almost lost his wall in the bot lane, but able to trade a tower, able to get that mechanical outplay. Solo kills in Heroes of the Storm are pretty uncommon, but Dequaza showing up and wrecking face.
I mean, he realized that after last map that Ultralisk was taking a lead in the MVP votes. He's like, okay, guys, I got to step it up a little bit and make a note for myself here. And he did. Pants now also in trouble, trying to escape here, and they get him really low, but they're not able to deliver the final blow. They got close, though.
Yeah, and this is going to allow Quaza, Make, and the Rhaegar to pressure. Masquerade here may potentially lose his life. Cure's unable to hit the combo.
No the spray, and he gets out. Not even close, never in doubt. Makes it out of the fight. At this point, Simplicity, they are going straight up for the boss, and it gets scouted instantly.
Yeah, I mean, they see multiple heroes bottom, which is why they're most likely going to be on it. But Team Wa, they're like, okay, you take your boss, we'll get a trib, and we'll get our boss. And honestly, I think if you're Team Wa, you're fine with this. You're already pushing the bottom fort, so that means your boss is going to be hitting the keep wall for the side of Team Simplicity. But I guess maybe Sylv will be able to pressure in the top side. If they don't, okay, yeah, I like Sylv actually. She was briefly walking towards the trib. I like them staying up there. I like them just looking to push themselves. And a good job from Pants, able to actually get a stall out here on the trip.
Yeah, there's a level 10 now, so they got the arrow, they got the stuns with Hogger, the shockwave. There's a lot of potential follow-up. Rhaegar with the ancestral. And we get stage dive. All right, so no mosh for now, no plays with Lucio support, but instead the stage dive could try and jump onto some of the targets here. Also, match, of course, Falstead in the late game a little bit. Too many interrupts, apparently, for the liking.
Any chance Ultralisk dies for this night camp?
Apparently not.
Could you imagine? Match point. He's like, you know what? Let's a little bit of an extra handicap. You know, why not? But yeah, boss traded for both sides, and I think the stage dive is an interesting choice here. I mean, I think it says to me that they want Pants to be with the 4-man. They want that bunker for the engage for the side of Team Wa. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what ends up happening with the ETC. I feel like there's opportunities for ETC to stage dive in, and while that stage dive is channeling, Gus comes out, pushes all their team away, and then ETC just gets stunned and turned on.
That's a big problem. That isolation can be a huge issue, and we've seen that in the past multiple times. And nothing, honestly, looks more silly than an ETC engage that ends in an insta-death.
Yeah. And we're going to see Trib spawning in about 10 seconds. Falstad getting that global pressure on the top side, which you like to see. Cure stepping up, trying to pressure onto this wall. But this is curse point for the side of Team Wa if they're able to get it. As Black Arrows comes out and looks like the side of Team Wa just want to push, but the Falstad flying in. Okay, I was wondering if he'd go for an aggressive Gus, opting to just rotate over to the wave and get some clear here, as it looks like Legacy is going to walk over and look to cap the Trib, as Simplicity does have the positional advantage and will be able to cap this. But you see the instant rotation from Wa to push top for it.
Yeah, and it was actually a smart play also from Ultralis to not go for it. You could see that he was itching for a second to try and go for an interrupt there. He was like, yeah, they're probably waiting for me, so let's not do that. Top lane push, so Simplicity has the experience, and they try to go for the kill. Marke sees it a bit late. Nagrom is there, attempting to help him out, but that's a dead ball.
That's when your support's like, listen, man, I wish I could do something. But, you know, great patience, though, because if Nagrom steps up, he dies. He maybe uses Ancestral, and then you're down even more. So it looked a little funny, but really the patience from Nagrom, like the discipline, very well done there.
Marke is like, bro, you serious? Where's the heal?
Pinging his healer. You know, that Storm League, you know your guy's like, hey, what the heck, man? I thought you had my back.
Yeah, Nagrom was just sitting in the bush. He's like, nope. I'm sorry, that's not happening. Early level 13. This is 5 versus 5 again, and obviously this tribute would be kind of nice for the blue team if they get that curse here, but they lack vision. And they're moving in with everybody, ignoring the Siege Giants, at least for now. Interrupt against Madarais, not happening. They're taking the tribute. The fight, not happening either. The Cocoon gets burned down by Li Ming, who obviously opted for Disintegrate over her normal play to trade cooldowns. And someone still needs to deal with it. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, Simplicity getting a lot of value, though, in the last couple of minutes. I felt like the early game was very much in favor of Team Wa. Oh, as the silence comes out as well, the Ancestral is going to be enough to keep Masquerade alive. The Hanzo arrow from deep downtown, and it's massive, but the helping hand is enough from Legacy as the Gus comes out, and Pants is stuck all alone in the bunker, but he's going to be okay. I was so scared for a second there.
Yeah, and for good reason. That arrow hit hard. That came all the way from downtown and hit 3 of them. Big stun, but the follow-up just wasn't there for the kill. Bunker obviously got dropped too, but yes, that was a scary moment for Simplicity. You are right, though. They are making good plays now. They're pulling ahead in experience, despite the fact that they're still a kill behind. So currently, the North American team definitely making the plays to get to Game 7. Yes. And this is a curse tribute.
Yeah. Cure actually blinking directly in onto Masquerade here, as Legacy is going to be able to make it around. Cure falling low, blinking back over to the other side. Legacy's like, bro, I just got to you, as the stage dive is coming over, but not going to connect. Legacy on the Lucio, a bit out of position, trying to save Cure, and is going to lose his life, but Make in the backline. The Sylvanas is going ham here. Medora said, no way, I want to get this W, but Pants no bunker.
Dead. Pants is dead, and they want more. 2 down on the red team side, and once again, they're starting to chase. Unaverted, he knows he can't close the gap here. Cure again, and he might go too deep, and he does. Ultralist comes in, not on my watch, drops Li Ming, and that's a curse. That's 3 down on the side of Simplicity as Team Wa goes ham.
A beautiful read from Ultralist, just waiting there. You saw him ready to naturally agility if he saw Cure step up, and a bit too greedy from the Li Ming there. And the question is, what can they get with this curse? Level 16 about to be achieved. We could see Team Wa go ham. We could see them go for the throat, but it looks like they're just going to opt for the boss, and probably going to be a double boss play for the side of Team Wa.
Big plays from them right now. That was a hugely important one, and initially, honestly, very weird engages that we saw there from the North American team. They were trying to get the stage dive connected. That didn't work out. Initially, like even Cure blinking in, blinking out right in front of Dequaza, saving himself then, but eventually being taken down by Hanzo. They are really in trouble here. 5 kills to 2. Level 16 is ready. The boss pushing through the top. They're exploiting the weakness in the middle now as they're opening the wall up. The vision is there. They have the camp, and it's
decided Team Simplicity getting their night camp as well, getting that mid wall, getting that top wall, and now with the camp pressure, that Simplicity has to respond to, going to use that to get their boss, and they are just painting the map blue. Everything except for the Siege Giants on the tide of Simplicity has been taken by Team WA, and they take a massive structure lead. But I will say, Simplicity can still come back. All they need is a trib. All they need is one good team fight. This really could go either way, but WA has taken the momentum.
And I like the way that WA went for the double boss, because they realized they don't have to rotate down to the bot lane immediately. They can apply the pressure with the boss top side thanks to the curse, move in the middle, take the wall down, and then just backing off and taking the boss at the bot left while the red team is still defending their top lane and ensuring that the keep doesn't fall there. So nice plays by them. 16 versus 16 talent still, so we have a lot of even fights coming up. But now the blue team pushing through the bottom of the map. The Europeans looking to see if they can take that keep down, if they can push now, help that boss to go in a little bit deeper. ETC is, of course, top side. He has stage dive, and they need to be careful of that.
Could look for a massive Hanzo arrow. Keep your eyes peeled a little bit on the minimap if he sees an opportunity, and here it comes onto the Blaze. Going to be okay here as Unaverted gets the stage dive as well, and that's going to be two big defensive cooldowns used. The Ancestral as well as the Gust, and this is a scary situation for Team WA if they overextend, as they're down every single ultimate, and Wailing Arrow, Bunker are still up for the side of Team Simplicity.
It's a trap. They're trying to set it up here. It's not over yet. Catapult comes in. They're still poking. They're still confident. But there's a lot of ults available for Simplicity. A little bit of poke against the minion wave by Macke. They're trying to poke it down slowly, steadily. Mid lane push, also something that has to be defended against. Up at the top lane, we have another Siege Giant cap that is moving into every single lane. Is pressuring against Simplicity as Team WA is looking for an opening.
They're just doing a very good job here, being patient, playing around their cooldowns. You see Macke continually using that boomerang to just get a little bit of damage, taking everything that they can, recognizing we have massive mid value or mid pressure, we have massive top pressure. Let's use this as a way to get, another 20% off that keep, and this is a big lane for them. If they take that keep down, or even now, if they get a boss in the late game, that keep's practically dead, and it is now a core push.
Yeah, of course, now with 2 tributes to the name of the red team, there's always the threat of a curse and some counterplays, but Ultralisk is going to get this one for free. There were a lot of traps set up at the side as well, and Simplicity was unwilling to fall for them. They know they needed to defend the top lane, and they did. Masquerade, trying to see if he can maybe get a sneaky one here, scouting for the team too. Still holding on to the vision. Pants is moving in. Arrow on Blaze. Follow-up start. ETC with
Ultralisk though.
On Ultralisk. Once again, the save by Rhaegar. Nicely done.
Madara though. Madara.
But here comes the kill. And Hanzo is dead. Too greedy, they wanted too much, and they get punished for it.
Yeah, but the cleanses, he dies, but the cleanses from Nagram have been
insane.
So clutch this game. The, tank swapping over to support, some of that new Heroes of the Storm Pro Blood doing so well, and the Tribute's going to be spawning in 25 seconds. Hanzo's still dead for 40, and this looks like Simplicity's opportunity to bring it back into this game. Can they get the curse? Can they get the level 20? And can they get a keeper some kills and maybe end this game?
Yeah, absolutely. The cleanses that we're seeing from Rhaegar are just nuts, and Nagrom had these over and over again throughout the entire series and the tournament. Still, Hanzo dies, and they didn't need to be there. This is also where the ETC stage dive really found some value. That initial connect was just fantastic, and the damage that came through with it. Then Sylvanas chases, is able to get the kill. Now it's 19.5 versus 19.5. Curse is hit, and here comes Simplicity. After they've been on the defense for, 5 minutes more even, they're finally starting to be aggressive topside with the curse. They're making the play for the keep. Macke is trying to hold on to the bot lane a little bit longer, but they need to move topside and defend this.
Yeah, they're really close. Just activated and achieved their level 20 here. Have the showstopper, the upgraded level 20 stage dive is very powerful, increases it by a lot. As you see, Unaverted here forcing the issue. Gust to first out as well. Madara blinking in, going aggressive. Legacy falling very low. A massive scatter from Ultralisk, and Unaverted in this is going to die. A bit of an overextension from Simplicity, wanting a lot and losing a lot.
Beautiful fight though from Simplicity initially. The engage was great. They had a very nice thought here and even dodged out on the Gust with a lot of those unstoppable frames that they had here on Blaze in particular, but they lose ETC, and now it's the chase at the top. The boss is there, and of course this is Team WA trying to go for the tournament victory, or at least getting a step closer the curse still active for a few more seconds, and the top keep is in trouble for the blue team.
Yeah, but I think that the boss for the side of Team Wa is going to be coming up soon as well. They could even look for the double boss opportunity and then look for the end on the bot side, as that keep is so much lower. And since they're backing off, that's what I'm going to assume they're doing, because remember, they did that double boss play. But actually, they got mid camp as well, and we're pressuring a little bit. Okay, 15 seconds. They may be able to clear this up and actually contest. ETC will be up as well. This could be a boss fight to decide potentially the series, or at the very least to decide this map.
But they got pretty much everything. The gust is there, the arrow is there, the shockwave. They can wait for them. They can try and trap them. Of course, they know that there is a threat right now, that boss is being taken. If they move through that point, there it is. They go into the choke point. ETC could be in trouble here. The gust is ready immediately, and Nubarak dives away. Oh boy. Boss is still up at the top. It's still doing damage to the keep. Might not get the entire thing, but it's going to drop it very, very low.
Ooh. And at this point, it's really going to be all about the boss. Boss is going to be name of the game. Neither team is on trib point. You know, Simplicity needs 3. Oh, that's like a pretty good Calyx from Sim. You know,
yeah.
Like off now. But yeah, really, I like that opportunity from Wa, looking for the pick. Look, you know, because they get 1 kill there, they get the boss, and that's potentially an end. But this really is anyone's game. Whoever wins this team fight, whoever, you know, gets a full team wipe has the ability to, if you're Simplicity, end through top, if you're Wa, end through top or bottom, and this is really coming down to the wire.
One mistake and you are toast. Here comes Lucio saving ETC. Liming looking, of course, again for the reset, for the combo. Everybody moving around the boss in an attempt to find that 1 kill that would potentially give you victory in this game. 3-2-2 the score between the two teams here. The Europeans in the lead, but Simplicity is doing everything they can to force that final map. Unaverted, he has stage dive back. He's back to defending the top lane and will global in whenever needed.
Wind tunnel for Make could be big if he's able to get them into a corner, as it looks like Ultralist is just going to start up the boss, maybe just pulling him over, and that actually forces the stage dive from Unaverted, maybe a little bit of nerves, and that's their global Madara almost getting 1 shot out of that bush. Dequaza going for it.
That was very, very early that he, I mean, again, he doesn't need to defend topside necessarily, but now his ult is down. He can't make that engage into the backline that has been pressuring Hanzo in particular. They gave up the tribute here, but yeah, they know fully well, of course, that that is not a threat right now.
Yeah, and there's Katas in the top side, but if you're Simplicity, now that Unaverted has actually used that, you know, stage dive, you just have to give it. You can't give this boss. If you give this boss, you lose. Losing top keep is not the end of the world. You can't go up there until you have stage dive.
Yeah, and the catapults are going to come in very, very quickly now. It's level 21 for both teams. We're at 19. They're going for the boss again, just showcasing that. And yeah, top lane keep is gone. Top lane keep is gone now. So they lost that. Madara's on the right side. In the meantime, Hanzo has pretty much done the same thing. He just went for the Siege Giants and took them. But everybody knows that this boss down here is going to be absolutely crucial. There's another tribute spawning, but it's only going to be the second one for either team. So that's not an immediate threat. But both teams are fully aware that you cannot let this boss go.
Yeah, and Unaverted is going to back now. Let's see if he's a little bit more patient onto the stage dive, as you see Wa putting, you know, the pressure onto Simplicity here. Boss going down to about half HP. ETC may have to stage dive soon. Sylvanas a little bit delayed here. His pants getting under the point though, but that's a kill!
Rega is down! Rega is
boss
dead!
is secured, that's 2!
Take the kill! And that is a 5v3 with Sylvanas pushing in the boss. It is a massive opportunity for Simplicity. They have the chance to come through the bot lane and maybe even end this.
Could potentially go for the core here. They have the siege. You
He's
see
going,
him
he's going.
looking to pressure that in the back. We see, I think
He's
ETC is backing. This is, you know, potentially their opportunity here. I don't know if he'll be able to 1v1 this ETC, but this is a doom push for Simplicity. They want to take it the distance. They want to take us to a game number 7.
Foresight
and Khaldor, I think they might be able to do it.
Foresight is coming back. They know that the ETC is not going to be there, but it's 20 seconds until Rega is back. And this is, of course, the opportunity for Simplicity to end. The boss is moving in.
Oh!
Giant.
Oh!
Oh, the kill! Hanzo is down. They might have done it. Simplicity, they want to force game number 7. They're so close now. The boss is already on the core. The shield is falling. The gust, the wind tunnel. But the core falls, and it falls too quickly. They can't save this one. Market gets lasered. Masquerade is about to die. And this is game 7 as Simplicity takes the victory on Cursed Hollow and forces the final map of the series.
And we are going the distance. You, the viewers at home, is the big winner. The NA versus EU matchup. Simplicity lost very convincingly to WA earlier, but not this series, not this grand finals. They are coming for it, and it was down to the wire in that last game.
It definitely was.
6 kills to 7.
How long were they sitting at that boss? 5 minutes?
Yeah.
The entire time, just everybody looking for the engage, and finally WA losing the patience, going in, and then the double kill, the easy double kill there so quickly as ETC engaged, and that allows them to take the game. Take, of course, the boss with Sylvana's help. They can push to the bottom. Yeah. Make, good thought there, trying to go for the top, but they already called it. They had his number there. They sent ETC back, and that was all she wrote.
It's right, the right move, though. You know, pull it back, get yourself a potential, 3v4 against the boss. That's kind of your only opportunity to win it. And wow, we got a doozy for the last game, but that Cursed Hollow one was so close. I feel like
that's an A pick, 100%.
Of course, we just won, so that means EU probably picked.
Garden of Terror, guys, is the final map of this series.
Hey, maybe we actually will get an Illidan. This is a good Illidan map, Like, my dreams could come. No world, I'm not even gonna meme it, but wow, I need a breather after that one. How you feeling, Khaldor? Are you still feeling pretty confident about all that shit you've been talking about North America? Or?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Of course, it's 3-3. You're about to lose. North America's about to represent.
I thought you would like the script.
You're going to like the script when my boy Cure farms in this last game. Well, honestly, he's kind of been getting carried a little bit. He had a couple rough games.
I'm a little bit scared.
A little bit.
I told him a 4-2 is fine.
Yeah.
But no, apparently not.
So what did we think about Unaverted on the ETC with the stage dive? I mean, because that's really going into the draft. We were worried about that. Not a pick we see super often. We saw him get a little bit impatient with the stage dive. But, like, overall, what was your, rating of his performance?
I think ETC did well.
Yes.
I really feel that he got value, but I also think that WA misplayed several situations. They had, again, that trap where they always felt they need that sneaky kill. And when Hanzo, for example, died, what for?
True.
What do you get there? Do you really think that they are going to walk in, and I don't know, they sent Lucio into the bush without scouting, and then you get with 3, how many heroes were there? 2, 3? You get the quick kill. They were just so confident that no matter what happens, they can just walk away from it, and then ETC stage dives in, and all of a sudden he's like, damn, how do I get out of this one? The cleanse was great, and we highlighted that, but you have mobility on the other team too. If they don't make that move, I think they have the next boss, the next push, and then they are ahead. But ETC did everything right there. We had 1 or 2 stage dives where he maybe pulled the trigger a little bit too early, but outside of that, he pressured Hanzo time and time again, and he forced Ultralist to back off, so that worked well for them.
Well, and that opportunity where they got the stage dive and caught out Uli, maybe that's not them having that much practice against the ETC, right? It's not a hero that's super meta, maybe, that's just something to know. But one hero, or one person I really want to shout out in that last game, the Sylvanas player, Madara. Yes. I felt like there were a couple of team fights where he showed up huge. I mean, that one we were talking about with the stage dive, finishing off the kill onto Ultralist. Also, the one where Li Ming, Cure was blinking back and forth around the tribute on their side, ended up getting Legacy dead. That could have been disastrous. And Madara going into the backline, getting 1 kill. And they still lost that fight, but it could have been so bad.
That was the scrappiest fight that Simplicity had in the entire game. That was horrific, honestly. And he saved it. Because, as you said, if he doesn't get that kill and they lose everybody there, I mean, it was already bad enough as is, but it could have been even worse. So he saves the day for them with that 1 counter kill. But yeah, Garden of Terror.
It's going to be the last game. I can't believe I do not know what we're in for.
I don't want to watch it.
Khaldor's house pumping. I'll get you a brown bag you can breathe into so that way you're going to be okay. But it is going to be a doozy on this last game. I mean, what a series it's been, though. No matter which team win, both of these teams showed up today. All 10 of these players really getting us some great Heroes of the Storm games.
And guys, we're giving them 5 minutes before we're heading into the final map of the series. So we're going to be back after a short break. Garden of Terror, the final map in the best of 7. See you in a few, and then we're going to get the final map between WA and Simplicity. And we're back. 3-2-3, the final map.
3-2-3. I see what you did there, Khaldor.
We're back. The meme is real, and so are the games here. We go to map number 7, and we have Garden of Terror. Yeah, that's not the final map that I expected, I'm going to be honest.
We got Volskaya, we got Alterac, NA choosing all the cheesy maps for us today. You love to see it, but 3-3, a best of one to decide who is going to win this all.
And I'm a little bit worried, I gotta say. I also heard a couple of voices out of the WAR camp where they said, like, well, technically we've already won this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like, well, it's the best of 7. We should have had the 1-0 advantage. And I'm like, boys, listen. If you talk shit the entire time, you gotta bring in the deeds. You gotta win.
Yes.
And I include myself in that. I mean, I'm getting a little bit worried over here.
No, definitely. And while the players are getting into it, I mean, we should just let you all know there is a Twitter account currently having an MVP vote going on. Khaldor, what's the handle?
NLG Miami. And by the way, we need to get them to at least 500 followers. I know there's way too many people of you out there that haven't subscribed to them yet or followed them. These guys hosted the entire event here. They're the reason why we have an offline event in the first place. So if you don't at least get to that, then I'm going to be cross with you. And we're not going to get another event here. Not that I have a say in those things, but still, anyways. So, NLG Miami, check out the MVP award over there. We're going to award that after the grand final, so don't drop out once the map's over. We are in the draft zone, so let's move straight in. The final map, Garden of Terror. Against Simplicity.
And, you know,
7.
We've really had it. I feel like the last couple of games, we've had a pretty good understanding of the draft meta.
Yeah.
But going into this Garden of Terror map, it's very hard to predict. It's very hard to know because it's a map we don't see very often. And there are a couple of heroes that do really rise in priority. But we do see 2 staples of the ban phase, Zeratul and Stitches. And I like both of these. 2 very powerhouse picks for both of these teams, respectively. And they're going to take away the Diablo. The question is, do they let the Maiev through? That's what I'm curious about.
There's also, yeah, Maiev, of course, is going to be important. Blaze is going to be important. You have Hogger, who very likely is going to be a pick here. What happens with Sylvanas? Look at the globals. Is Forza going to be a thing again? This could get crazy. This could get absolutely crazy. And they ban Maiev out. They say, Ultralisk is not going to happen. You're not going to play this today.
And I like that. I mean, the aggressive style of WoW, they love being able to pair that up with the Tyrael, with the Deckard, and just saying, you know what, we don't want to deal with Ultralisk on his, you know, one of his best melee assassins. And the Blaze, boom, Dequaza back onto his one trick. Whoa, 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 we don't want you playing anything else. And such a strong hero.
I think Blaze only has lost a single map between these 2 teams. This is what now? Map number 10 between them.
Yep.
We had 9 games before. 8 of those Blaze won, and only 1 of those he lost.
So for your EU boys, you know, if stats are on their side, I definitely would say the Blaze first pick is a good advantage for them. But Sylvanas,
Tyrael denied over and over again on the 3rd ban. And this time they're coming in. I was like, nope. We want the Tyrael. We want the Tracer. Let's go. We're done playing.
Yeah, and such a strong powerhouse pick for all 3 of these heroes. And also comfort picks for Make, for Masquerade, for Dequaza. Game number 7, what you want is your players on champions that they feel confident in, that they know the limits of, and that they feel like they can make impact and they can win the game on. And I feel like so far, Team WoW has definitely set themselves up for that.
Yeah, big picks. And I like also the ban. Nagrom has been picking Rhaegar over and over again. He really likes to play with that. They deny it here. They force him away from it. They picked Lucio, who's of course fantastic for a big map. And they could try, I want a global ban, honestly, because there's a way where Simplicity just says, we have Lucio, we're going to pick a global, and we have Sylvanas. We can side push, we can go for 4-man, have a side lane pusher that soaks both lanes, and just try to red Dota them completely the entire game long. And instead they're banning Varian.
Interesting. A hero we haven't seen. Have we even seen it this tournament? Maybe. But we haven't seen it at all in the last 10 games between these 2 teams.
Yes, and I know that they've been thinking about it a couple of times of picking him, and they decided otherwise then. If you have Varian, of course, and you can follow up with the Sylvanas arrow, then later it's more or less a guaranteed kill if you play their cards right, a little bit similar to what you can set up regularly with Varian plus Stukov. But here comes ETC and Dehaka, so they have potentially already 2 globals. That's exactly what I've been talking about.
Yeah.
If they go for ETC stage dive again, then there we have a quick rotation with Lucio for Sylvanas, and we have Dehaka on the side. ETC, Mosh Pit stage dive, both fine, but if he goes for more side lane pressure, they can try and play the map against them.
Yeah, and they have the Lucio Sylvanas to pair with that style. And, you know, they have Tracer. That's why they probably banned out the variant, didn't want the taunt into that hero. One of the best counters. True. So, you know, realizing that, and there is a false dead Brightwing saying, you know what, we don't want to get super macroed. We don't want to play against that. And also a polymorph and a gust for the potential mosh of unaverted. So I really like those 2 picks from the side of WA, and their composition is looking scary. They got good team fight. They got good global pressure. And what is Simplicity going to last pick to round out this composition and finish it off?
Really good catch, by the way. Varian has a counter completely slipped my mind. We've seen him as such a big staple of like any kill composition.
Yeah, like a Stukov.
Exactly. It was just like, okay, yeah, but obviously really good ban on that end. With Sylvanas, still the combo potential there, but obviously the bigger reason being that Tracer and keeping her safe. Brightwing and Falset, I think were needed. We have once again Li Ming. This time she doesn't have to go into Disintegrate. There's no Nuburak on the other side that drops the Cocoon, so we can see the wave of force. Cure has been doing well with her, and it's going to be that battle between Tracer, Li Ming, and her just trying to get the kill. Make, he said he wants a second game on her. He said he wasn't happy with his performance the first time they played Tracer, despite the fact that they won that game and that he had some essential kills for it. Now, of course, he has an opportunity. He can say, like, all right, Rust is off, let's go. And let's take it, but we are down to the final map, and I can't believe that we're even here.
We're loaded into it. Game number 7, NA versus EU. Who's going to crown themselves as the champion? And we have got some, all right. We've got some bangers of heroes, right? Make on the Tracer. Yes. We got Cure playing the Li Ming, unaverted as well, bringing out the ETC Tyrael. And the wave of force into the Tyrael matchup is something to watch. Can stop that sanctification if Cure is really on point. I feel like both teams have the tools, have the chance to win this game, and it's all going to come down to execution.
And here we go. The final map of the day, everybody, as we are coming in for Garden of Terror. There it is. So, Tomb of the Garden Curse is the final map. We got on the left side a Mark on Tracer, Masquerade, with a proper mount this time as well. On Tyrael, we got Blaze, played by Dequaza, Nagrom on Brightwing, and last but not least, of course, it's False that played Ultralisk.
And my North American boys pulling out the win the last game, looking to bring home the pride for their region. ETC being played by Unaverted, Cure on the Li Ming, Madara playing that Sylvanas, Dahaka being played by Fancy Pants, and Legacy rounding out the composition on the Lucio.
Time to shine. Put up or shut up. Now here we go. Who can take it? Already Sylvanas up at the top, making her plays, trying to come in and take the towers down just a little bit. But the blue team with the proper read, they were on the proper lane. They also have the position against Cure at the bottom of the map. And it is time to go all out. Every single kill matters, every single rotation. Anything can decide this game. At this point, it's all down to a single map. One final map between Europe and North America. One final map between Simplicity and WA.
Yeah, as it looks like both teams just kind of posturing in the mid lane. I mean, it's early game at this point. Only 50 seconds in. Pants on the Dahaka, potentially looking to see if they can get Cure. Actually getting gone on here, taking a decent amount of damage. Maka didn't. Or, yeah, Mocha doesn't have the bomb, so not able to actually go for the kill there. But, you know, it's a pretty slow early game so far. Looks like Team Simplicity is going to opt to take their night camp, whereas the double siege is going to be the choice of Team WA.
Yeah, it's obviously one of the most important things when you're playing on a map as big as this one. If you have this many mercenary camps, you want to get that control, you want to get the lane pressure going, the extra experience that it gives you as well. And that's what both of the teams are currently opting for. Very important to have globals. That's one of the reasons why we see the Dahaka. The last 2 picks for Team WA reflected that as well, with Brightwing and Falset joining the fun here. But it's gonna be nuts. Oh. Honestly, the pressure is crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean this is tournament life on the line. Is that going to be something that drastically affects the players here, right? If you make a misplay, it could be the last hope for your team. Is that something that makes the players play a bit more passive? It definitely could potentially get them in their head. But one thing to note, these players are professionals. A lot of them have played on the main stage before, so it's not a new process for them.
At the same time, you have to say that at least Team WA is a bit affected here. They were obviously, after the 3-0 victory in the winner bracket final, expecting to also have a bit of an easier march through the grand final. But nope. NA showed up in full force. Simplicity definitely had the number in multiple games, and it is starting to take a bit of an effect. But at this point, you really got to focus on the game at hand, got to focus on the next team fight, on the next rotation, and just make sure that you're taking that initial lead. And then don't make these mistakes when you're ahead. Don't give them an edge. But a good drag again at the top lane from Pans. They're not able to get a kill here, but there's definitely a lot of pressure from both sides.
Yeah, good job coming out from Pants there, as it looks like the first tribute is going to go the way of Wa. This map similar to Curse Hollow in the sense that getting just one getting one tribute doesn't win the game for you, just gives you a little bit of an advantage, as it looks like Cure is going to be able to get the siege camp for themselves. And it's even inexperience at this point. The double global pressure for the side of Team Wa could definitely play a factor as this game continues, as you see them getting massive pressure on the top side.
Yeah, once again, we have Ultralisk here. They're really trying to threaten that front wall here. They're just going for it. We have the level 4 talents kicked in for both. Level 7 is just around the corner. So far, we haven't seen a kill yet, but the rotations are ongoing. The first seed went over to the blue team. The second one is spawning right now. And yeah, it's crazy. You can see it on the players' faces as well. I mean, everybody is affected here, obviously. It's been a long day too. Especially Simplicity has played game after game after game after game. So they've been on stage for ages now. Down to the bottom of the map. Madara gets attacked and in comes Falset. That's the kill. Ultralisk makes it happen. The first blood for Team Wa.
Yeah, and they're able to take the Sylvanas off the map. That's very big, but they are going to be able to trade. Ooh! Cure barely being able to get the channel there. You see Legacy falling very low to tank those, minions to ensure that Cure can get the channel, and it's 1-to-1 for each team.
And they're doing exactly what they've done on the tournament. They get the kill, and they immediately are there with 4. They're starting to push. They're going through the wall. They do damage on the fort itself. Pans is trying to counterplay that a bit, but did they stay too long? That's the question. Here comes the Lucio rotation. Brightwing helping out. Quasar getting an assist immediately. Choke point situation. Ultralisk. Does he have the barrel roll?
Looks like Ultralisk is going to be able to get out here. So Simplicity looking to get something there, not going to be able to do it. And Madara, someone I was singing the praises of in the last game, playing out of his mind on the Sylvanas. Let's see if he can have a similar performance in this one. Already, the only death in the game so far is him and Make are going at it, going head to head.
Keep in mind, this is game 13 in a row now for Simplicity. Because they had to go through the losers bracket, they've been playing game after game after game. There was at least a break for the boys on the side of Team Wa. But right now, all of that is forgotten. Everybody just has to focus. Another seed is popping up. This is going to be the second seed for one of these two teams, as they went for the even split on the first two.
Yeah, I was going to say, are we going to see the first time the seed is contested? And it, looks like at least Team Wa is posturing around with the Tyrael, with the Tracer, maybe looking for a stall. But Tracer, half HP right now, so if they do take a little bit more chunk, could force the Brightwing Z, which is their global, but Falstat as well, getting a lot of value here. Madara probably going to get stalled out by the Tyrael. Maybe the Brightwing Z coming in. Cure getting bombed and falling low, going to die. Legacy not able to save them there, as Ultralisk as well coming in, and that's 2. Team Wa popping off. Masquerade having the time of his life, and that's level 10 and the second trip achieved for them.
Make was talking about it time and time again. He said, I want another game on my Tracer. He got it, and he's shaking off the rust. He is getting that kill against Cure, which was so important. Half HP, and he just called Brightwing over. They made the move. Then you have the polymorph in, and Liming doesn't stand a chance. They're moving through the bot lane. 3 kills to 0. Here's the play for the first fort of this game. Top side, even more pressure. Falstad and Brightwing in tandem, trying to push the North American team back. And now even the steal on the Siege Giants on the bot lane.
And the first fort goes the way of Team Wa, and they get a beautiful tribute spawn here. This is a great position for them. If they get this, they will definitely continue this momentum lead that they've been able to build up in this early game, just half a level. But we see, for Unaverted, a massive play potential here. The Mosh Pit has been the selection, so that's something the Team Wa is going to have to be cognizant of and can't, overextend too much, because that can always turn a fight.
Absolutely. We got some interrupts, but they have to be careful here. They always have to watch out for it. Push at the top. Here comes the flank. They're trying to make the move. Jet propulsion missing. Here comes the gust into the corner. Mosh Pit still up. The play in the backline against Cure, but out comes Make. The E and the slide was a bit too early. Then Mosh Pit. It's a solo performance, but once again, the kill. Mask is dead too. They go for the double. Sylvanas the first to fall, but both frontliners of the European team go down in flames.
Yeah, the question is, can they actually cap the trib off? This is Unaverted. I like that. Going for the aggressive slide. Not going to be able to connect, but looking to keep up the aggression, as this is potentially a trib that can be stalled out. But Legacy in a position here. Does Make go for it? The tongue from Pants could be enough. A is able to get it. Are they actually going to be able to get the finish as well? Make so low here, and that's another one for the North American squad. And this should surely be the tribute going the way of Team Simplicity.
A little bit of time bought for the Siege Giants, but it's again the same problem. They're interrupting too hard. They are the ones with 2 seats against 1, but Marke went in and he died. The death timers are low, and it's only another 9 seconds until Tracer is back on the map. But by now, we have 3 kills to 4. Madara getting interrupted again. They're stalling and stalling in the bot lane. Even catapults are pushing the bot lane wall already.
Wow, this is such a hard spot to take it. Legacy falling low. You see Ultralist rolling in, going aggressive here, maybe a bit too aggressive, as the Brightwing Z will sieve him. The bunker's down as well, and it looks like Simplicity, they were stopped, and that is the tribute going to Team Wa.
Unbelievable. They get the tribute, and they get the objective. And during all of this, the top lane has already taken damage to the Siege Giants. The bot lane catapults have done work. Look how far this lane is pushed out. The Garden Terror is spawning right there. Simplicity did such a great job locking those 2 kills in. And now all of a sudden, we have again the pressure play from Team Wa as they are looking for value on the first objective.
Yeah, and Dahaka was forced to use the Z into the bot lane. Like you mentioned, Khaldor, it spawned right at that keep wall. They needed to instantly get down there to respond it so they don't lose too much damage. And level 13 has also been achieved for Wa. Simplicity still needs a little bit more experience before they can get that. And this is a pretty big push for the side of Team Wa, as they are probably going to be able to get almost all the keep walls.
Falside at the top is still pushing. The fort is obviously already gone. Not a single one is standing any longer. I love the aggression from Simplicity. Always looking for an angle. They need to risk something here, and they know it. But at this point, it's getting a bit dangerous. Falside falls back. He doesn't risk anything here any longer. 14-13 right now. What a game, Michael.
This is, I mean, it's Garden of Terror. We were memeing it, but what a best of 7 it's been. What a last game it's been so far. And no one is getting a stomp here as Maska is set up in the bush. Potentially Ultralist on the flank with the guts. It's massive right into Dayquaza. But one thing, the mosh pit turnaround, the unstoppable as well. And that's going to be 1. That's going to be 2. The resets for the North American team. And they want Dayquaza as well.
They get the double kill with Yiming. They're trying to go for Blaze here. They're starting to chase him down. And the rest of Team Wa, they're going to let it slide. He's just buying time. That's all he does at this point. Dayquaza's on the run. He's buying time for the rest of them. But he's going to fall to their lead in kills for North America. The mosh pit, it was called out over and over again, and he caught them all. This is what they need to avoid, and by now they gotta be afraid, because this is a huge problem. They are way ahead in structures, but this can't happen anymore.
Yeah, and I will say a great team fight win for Simplicity, but Dayquaza, we saw him on the Blaze buying so much time for his team. You know, if he dies quicker, they potentially could have killed this fort way sooner, and now Team Wa is going to be able to walk in and actually get the defense. So even though they got 3 kills, look at the structure still on the map. They didn't even lose a single fort. Really well played from Dayquaza on the Blaze. I have to sing his praise there.
It's the experience that's really starting to become a bit of an issue, because now we had for the entire time the blue team just a bit ahead by half a level, and that has flipped now. It's the North Americans, it's Simplicity that is closing in on level 16. Of course, there's still the top lane, there's still the Siege Giants. Dehaka is there, he's dealing with it, and everybody's focusing on the camps on the map now. But the next objective is coming up, the next seed, and already with 16 in their hands, Madara in a big of a pickle for just a second, but it's up onto the blue team to soak the lanes, soak experience, and make sure that they're matching their talents.
Yeah, but Fancy Pants here on the Dahaka needs to be safe. I don't know if he'll potentially get caught out here. Okay, actually going to be able to back off. And this is going to be the second trib going the way of Team Simplicity. And this is now tribute point. This is Simplicity's chance to equalize on the map, to get all 3 of these forts down, and potentially, if they have a massive team fight with the trib, to open up this game, get a keep wall, and maybe get a keep if it goes really well.
There's the 16. They have 60 now, both of the teams on even talents, and of course they still have to keep tabs on the mosh pit, but at the same time they also need to open up opportunities for Tracer in particular. We haven't seen one of those God Sanctifications yet that we had Masquerade drop earlier in the series.
One? Actually,
no.
I don't know. We haven't seen a single Sank.
Yeah, he needs a good one. He needs to really help the team out here in one of those dicey spots. Once more, the jet propulsion, a little bit greedy here, doesn't hit it, but they're falling back. As long as they're not getting caught here, they're still going to be fine. Falside is at the bot lane, so is Brightwing. And here's ETC sitting in the wings, and Maka sees him and zips away.
Ooh, that was so close. I mean, he gets a slide there. That's a dead Tracer. Great reactions from Make. Wanted that redemption game, and he is showing up with it.
No key best fallen yet. Not a single fort has been destroyed on the blue team side, but they can't funnel into the choke point here. They know exactly that ETC is going to try and zone them out. But they need to poke this a little bit more. Marco already moving in, falls at the bot lane. The Haka is there as well, starting to chase him. He wants that chicken, but he doesn't get it. Fawcett paying attention here. They're trying to control these side lanes with the globals. Vision is being denied. Small wall taken down. Objective, poke. This is for the next Garden Terror wave.
This is a massive opportunity. If Simplicity gets this, this is going to be the tribute going their way. Team Wall recognizing the state of this. As you see, Unaverted going in here. Dequaza taking a lot of damage. Not necessarily the best target. And that is going to be a massive sanctification. The mosh pit comes out, but it's actually going to be gusted away as Ultralist trying to do what he can, Khaldor. And Unaverted is the next person in their sights.
Dequaza with the patience, no bunker. He just turns it around. They get the stun and they pop Lucio. With Lucio gone, they get the objective. They again take the lead in experience. And it is just, it's so symptomatic for this entire series. Back and forth, time and time again, fight after fight, kill after kill. Level 18 earlier for the European team. 5 kills to 6 now. They got Lucio, they got some momentum. And it's another 15 seconds until we have the support back on the map.
Oh, wow, what a back and forth here. And now it comes back to the next tribute. This is one that is going to be in favor positionally for the side of Team Wa, and this is a scary situation if you're the side of Simplicity. Tracer, Brightwing, Tyrael, they want to get onto your backline, and they have a lot of angles to do it from if you end up trying to take the fight over this tribute. So I just have to say, Simplicity needs to tread carefully if they do go for it.
But both of the teams are just one brain fart away from losing a fort or a keep. And yeah, Ultralisk at the top is playing it so patient. Has to make sure that he dismounts ETC there, but it's a freebie fort thanks to Sylvanas for the red team. More siege chance at the bottom on the other hand, and another push in the middle.
Wow, there could be an opportunity too. If Team Wa ends up getting this trib, there could be a brief window where they have level 20 and this third trib is spawning and Simplicity is put in a very dire situation. I don't think you can give up a third trib. I don't think you can fight into the Garden Terror if Team Wa gets it again. And so, you know, about a little under half a level lead for the side of Team Wa, and let's see if they can make something happen with their level 20.
I'm shaking. I'm nervous. I don't even want to know how the players feel right now. I don't even want to know how they feel. Both teams here for such a long time today have been playing game after game after game, and it's been intense. They are drained, and one mistake can cost you this entire series, can cost you the first place, can cost you the opportunity to crown yourself the champion of this LAN event here in Miami. 20 kicking in for the blue team. They have a small window, and it is coming exactly at that not tribute.
Dire moment, yeah, exactly, where you have level 20 for the side of Team Wa, and Simplicity is trying their best to soak it out. They recognize the dire situation that they're put in, and honestly,
it's shrinking though.
Maybe, yeah, they're getting really close to Haka catching the mid wave. They're going for the top wave, but I don't know if they're going to be able to get it in time, or if they're going to have to overextend to actually get a stall. And look at Dequaza, so flanked up, ready, unaverted, walking in with no vision. Are they going to be able to recognize Dequaza's here? Okay, just the stun onto the ETC.
Oh, just the bomb. They get the bomb out, but it's 20 versus 20.
Silence arrow used as well. That's a big cooldown.
Versus 20. Yes, you are right. Sylvanas using the Wailing Arrow. That was huge, and there's a camp pushing at the top lane. But one good mosh pit is all that Simplicity needs for this objective. This could be game deciding. Here comes the mosh pit. They're gust immediately. The bunker on the ground. Maka diving away. He's not dead, but they're making a play for Dequaza. And Blaze is in trouble.
Sink!
He's escaping the sanctification. They saved the day. Madara. Oh my God.
Going in so deep. Able to blink out here. Simplicity. They recognize if they can get this fight, this could be their opportunity to win the game. They get the tribute, but can they get some kills? That's the question. Pants, he wants it. He wants this Tyrael. Cure chasing them down. The Lucio as well, Khaldor. ETC's coming in.
He comes in, they go for the cross again. Lucio's dead. Lucio is
Madara
dead. Falls there with the kills.
The turnaround.
Dead too. What is happening? What is happening? Wa is cleaning house. They're taking them out. One player at a time. 2 dead already. They go for Pants. Yes, there's Garden Terrors on the map, but who cares?
Wow, I thought that looked massive for Simplicity.
Oh my
they saw
God.
blood in the water. They were sharks ready to take out Team Wa and solidify themselves as the champion of this LAN. But Team Wa did not let it happen. The turnaround, the counter kill on DeLucio to start it off for them. And this is an opportunity for Simplicity. You need 3 tribs before you can push again, unless you get a full 5 team wipe. It's so hard.
They were angling for that flank the entire time, and the second he makes the slide happen, I'm like, that's 1 down, that's 2 down. But instead, it's the turn. They keep their composure, they don't panic, they call their targets, and they come in and they drop them. Now it's 8 kills to 6, an easy defense. No opportunities in this situation for Simplicity, even with the objective. And here comes Team Wa in the middle. They have 15 seconds until the Haka is back. Sylvanas is already back to business. They take another tower down, but now they need to be careful as well. They can't get complacent here.
Yeah, it really, I mean, still, if Team Simplicity, even though they're not ahead in structures, haven't opened up a keep, they have Sylvanas. If they take a very decisive team fight, if they hit a massive mosh pit, they can still win this game.
Yes.
It is still either way, but I definitely will say Team Wa positionally has the advantage. From a tribute standpoint, has the advantage. But this trib spawn is a good place for Team Simplicity. I wouldn't hate if Team Wa is just like, you know what? I don't want to fight there. We'll give it up. We'll see what happens with the next tribute, but we'll see what decision they end up making. And, you know, Maska, that last fight had a big sank to keep Dequaza alive. If he's able to keep that up, I think Team Wa will be able to secure the VicU. You know, Tyrael, such an impactful hero.
And as you can see here, everybody is just going for vision. They're trying to find out where is the other team. Is there a trap in any of these bushes? Are we walking into something? Can ETC maybe isolate someone? Do we get that drag with the Haka? He's going to go for the global. They're pushing the side lanes. They're trying to control as much vision of the map as they possibly can. And time again, it just comes down to these fights here. The tribute is up, and it seems like they're going to let it go. It's not a good position for them. Here it comes, another 30 seconds. Are they angling for it? They look at Pants. They want the isolated kill. He's already double checking. Pants, is he going to get caught here? He's dodging the first.
Maska, okay. Oh. They're not able to get it. They're not able to get it. Okay, so as we have a little bit of a breathe. Oh, actually, before I say that, unaverted sliding. Just want to quickly point out some level 20 talents. We've got upgraded isolation for Pants. That's a massive team fight ult. We have Turbus for ETC. We have upgraded Sank, upgraded wind tunnel. Are these going to come into play over this bruiser camp? As it looks like Dehaka is going to fall very low. Almost 100 HP. The wind tunnel, as well as the sanctification mosh pit on an 8-second cooldown. Pants.
Kill. ETC, he's down. They saved Dehaka, but they lose ETC. The boop to save Pants, but they're moving and they take him down. Their front line gone. Both of them obliterated. Their push power at the top with the double camp remainder. The seed is ready for gathering. That's the seed that they didn't take. This is the moment where they can maybe even go for the tournament victory, but at least they have to at least take down a keep here.
Oh, they might take more than that, Khaldor. It makes me sad to say it, but it's looking dire for my North American boys. Can Kjur get the one cheer higher on Tamake? He recognizes this is a do-or-die situation. They need to get something. ETC dead for 25. Dehaka dead for 30. 3 terrors coming in. Khaldor, this looks like Team Wa's game. It's looking dire.
Kjur needs to kill the keep. It's gone. The one at the top also in trouble. They want to go for core here. You can tell. They want to end. They don't want to go for another fight. Sanctification is not up, but they have the wind tunnel. They have the wind tunnel. They can buy themselves a little bit more space here. Here it comes. Wind tunnel is out. We got the Garden Terror on the core. It's losing
70,
its points. Here comes
60,
ETC. He has the mosh pit.
45,
can he land it? He's looking for
20,
it. He's looking
10.
for it. He can't fight. It's over. It's over. Team Wa wins the best of 7 and takes victory at the Miami Defrost LAN.
The series goes the distance, but Team Wa solidify themselves as the champions, and deservedly. What a intense, what a close series, but Team Wa making those clutch plays at the end, at that bruiser camp, the massive wind tunnel, the massive sanctification, and with that, they secure a couple kills, secure the Garden Terry, and secure their victory.
Absolutely insane series. Incredible performance by Simplicity, time and time showing up here, and they were so close. The mosh pits that we had, the engages, Kjur looking for these kills time and time again, the saves, the Haka nearly dying and they still save him. But then the final battle here, and Team Wa is able to turn it around. 4 maps to 3. I still can't believe it.
I can't believe it either. I mean, could this have been a better series for all the viewers at home? I don't think so. I mean, sitting here, Khaldor, you and I are standing up, jumping around in this final game. Not sure, both sweating, you know, armpits, mom spaghetti. Not sure who's going to actually win this, but what a series. And it's like unaverted. I feel like on this ETC, these last 2 series really showed up, had some very impactful mosh pits, but at the end, they're not able to get it when it matters. Ultralisk topping the damage charts with 39. Li Ming had 53, but on his team, really playing so well. Wow.